A busy afternoon here as we get still some comments coming through from Fed's Kashkari still. We're supposed to get Harker here starting at 2 o'clock as well. So just be aware, we could see some market movement. Kashkari kind of tiptoed around overall monetary policy going forward. Did refer to what has happened already, but didn't really give any hints as to where they'll go from here. Last comment, household savings is being spent down more slowly than it had expected. Kashkari also saying delinquencies are creeping up, though from very low levels. So again, didn't really mention anything specifically as to monetary policy or his thoughts on monetary policy going forward. I wanted to show this. This is the 10-year right now. So we had 2 days of the daily chart, 2 days straight back to the upside, almost got back to that 420 area. Red day, though, for all the yields right now, the 2, the 10, the 30-year, all downside today. Dollar downside as well. Bit of a mixed board overall there. A lot of green, though, coming through from energy stocks specifically over here. Oil up about 1% at one point today. We've come off that with about 30 minutes to go in the session. But healthcare also providing some gains, and some of the discretionary names also positive on the day. Big tech offsetting outside of Apple with a nice day off the highs as well, but still holding on to. Positive territory, NVIDIA and AMD making up most of the notable weakness at this point. E-Hang, get ready for flying cars. I didn't see anything on this. There's all kinds of volume behind it. E-Hang trying to get back above 11 bucks early on this morning. It's failed. Rumble, yeah, that might happen. It might happen once or twice. Rumble almost 12% at the highs, pulls off 8. We're back to 775 again. Nothing significant, but this impressive move on the daily time frame continuing here for RUM. Yeah, Fed's Kashkari still speaking again. We're supposed to get Harker here within a few minutes with some comments coming through, so just watch the overall market. Nothing significant as far as overall movement in the market. Downside right now for the NASDAQ on the back of these semiconductors this afternoon. Everything else, though, holding up pretty well, including Palantir, if you're with us in the first hour. Impressive earnings report for Palantir, guys.
Nah.
Never heard of them.
Palantir? No.
29%
is terrible. That's terrible. It's horror awful.
I like.
It's up 29%. Like, what are you supposed to say here? It's like one of those movies where splendiferous, the most exciting movie you've seen since Titanic. Well, you should have all of those little things that to talk about the move in Palantir today, and just put them up like it's on some kind of a crazy movie poster. But that's the story of it. Like I said, you're chasing what has been a ridiculous run to the upside. I have done some scalping lately. I'm flat right now, no position on Palantir. There was a $20 level. There was a 21.5 lately. But I think we should, at this point, remember 52-week high to the penny is your top on Palantir. At this point, it wants to challenge this level. It's been a fade in front a couple of times, but it seems as if it's inevitable that we're going to get a push through here. As we said in the morning show, this is their 5th consecutive quarter of profitability, so they maintain eligibility to go into the S&P 500. There's no obvious timeline for that. Somebody's got to come out, so maybe someone gets bought and someone gets delisted, or someone just craps the bed. But Palantir's time is seemingly coming for the S&P 500, and you know what this did? That did to Uber. But for the afternoon trade, watch out for $21.85, the 52-week high.
All right. I mean, we just shorted the market. I mean, all of a sudden we're trading futures here again. You guys have asked for me to do that. We're doing it. Let's see. I like to trade it today because of all the talk and all the movement back and forth. We've really just shorted. I mean, look how many. It's crazy. I really like it because I'm able to get scalps out on this and then hold some for bigger moves. So I think I like this, man. I like this. All right, so Palantir today. I mean, we don't really know what else to do other than go long. We tried it back here at VWAP. It didn't work. We were long in the pre-market at 20 bucks. We were long at the low of the day. I mean, this is the low. This is the very low of the day. 1980. We had that in our account. Got it out 21.54 was my best out. And then we were holding like that 5%. It came back into VWAP and we danced with it a little bit. Unfortunately, it broke, but it didn't break the 200. So we always talk about this on earnings, and it's like, where do we want to buy stock back? I trusted VWAP there. It was right. I mean, VWAP was 77. I went down as much as 50. I didn't want to take a 20-cent hit on this, so not in the middle of the day. All right, I mean, Palantir back up to highs. Congratulations, it's been a monster stock. But wow, these futures are now 50 cents. This is why I pick on this, honestly. I can put just as many shares on a $500 stock as I can a $20 stock. Buying power is not a problem for me. So my attention goes over to something that's moving a lot faster here in the afternoon. Oh yeah, and by the way, we won't talk about this. Crazy Stitch lady, everybody else. We're long Disney, baby. And Disney right here at 97. You're all the way up to 99, man. Disney right now. Like, I don't know, is Netflix running? Like, I know Disney only has a couple more days left.
They report.
But, yeah, they report Wednesday night. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, complete opposite day right here. As Disney is really, I'm long, and I didn't even realize we broke through 99 there. Great day for Disney. I'm excited for tomorrow, man. We're still holding like these 88s or whatever for Disney. So nice little move to the upside. Oh, it's getting close right now. It's getting close right now, and it's the SPY. Huge drop in, man. You just hit that move down in. We got to take some profit. Let's go. Wow. So from midday to this day, it's just about to get a lot more spicy here right now. Nice move down on the SPY right there, baby. Yeah. You having fun yet? Let's go back over to the desk.
Spotify fades off that 248, 250 level this morning, but still holding on to a nice, I mean, it was 3%, just gave that back too. Back through 230, I guess, for Spotify. Actually, we just went red on the day. But nice look anyways, coming off an earnings report. I saw somebody was mentioning, why is it euros this morning? They're actually from Sweden or Switzerland? One of those?
In Scandinavia.
Yeah, so they report in euros. Primary listing over there as well for Spot.
Yeah, they did real well, Brendo. They grew their average revenue per user. They grew their subscriber base for premium as well as ad tier. So it was a good look for them. Profitability continues to grow as well. Obviously, that $250 million they paid to Joe Rogan going to keep a lot of people on the platform. So we'll have to see how they do.
Yeah, they gave up on that move pretty quick this morning. It was an initial move to the upside, guys, but nothing since.
I think when Brendan mentioned went red there, he was probably talking about the ES and your short trade, because Spotify didn't go red just now. I'm guessing. Because yeah, Spotify.
Yeah, I mean, ES is flat, so.
I think it just ticked red. But Spotify is still up 3%. That said, it gave up like $18 here. I don't think there's a trade in this one, but aftermarket, we do have, okay, like I'll look at the daily chart for you guys. Hey, rocket ship, it just faded. Essentially a breakout move. I think you look at previous tops, maybe 225 after things settle down. But aftermarket, you do get Snapchat, so it's not the same thing, but they're both rely on advertising. Maybe different types of advertising, not exactly the same model, but you're gonna have a little bit of sympathy here. And Snapchat, almost said Spotify again, this is on the verge. We had a long early, 1 for 2 on Snapchat, but if it can get through this 18 top, maybe it doesn't happen here, but if it breaks it out on earnings, that could be a spicy runner. As I said, it was 1 for 2. One long, second long didn't go. I don't think I'm getting VWAP again at 17.10 Nimit, but I'm still bidding it. I'm not getting that fill. I think this can be a stair step up going into earnings. So if I'm trading one of these names and I'm lumping Snapchat with Spotify here, it's going to be Snapchat. I'll look for, if I'm not getting VWAP, this 17.20 area on a dip buy looks pretty decent. For anyone watching the midday show, I am in that GER short at $1. Oddly enough, do not mistake it with GRR. Why there's allowed to be a GRRR and a GRR is rather annoying to me, but I'm short that one off a buck with a 102 stop. But Snapchat, I am looking to buy the dip if it holds a higher low here on Snap. No Spotify trades today, and there won't be another one this afternoon.
This Disney trade is a 22-1. I just canceled my stop order. So my stop order was at 90, it's even better than that, was at 96.75, 6 cents worth of risk, 6 cents to gain 220 cents right now. All right, so that's a good one there. Obviously, we wish we still had the full piece on. And by the way, this is what we have on right now. Alibaba. I'm just going to review the trades that we have on. Alibaba right here, long from the morning. Still have half of it. This is $1.66 in the money. That's $1.66. This Disney trade we have on, this is $2 right now in the money. This Google trade that we have on right now is $1.50 in the money. This Spider, we have 4 trades. This is the 4th one. The Spider trade we have on, $1.12 in the money. What's up, Magic 8 Ball? What's up? Give Ponzi Fonzie some shelter. Give him some shelter immediately, everybody. Downside move goes the market. We're here. We're loving it. It's fantastic. Stop order just quickly here on Disney. We just talked about the risk to reward there. Stop order right here on Disney is the break of that 200 period moving average. So, 50 period. 98.70 on Disney, we gone. All right, back over to the desk.
It's for tomorrow. Don't worry about it. All right, let's continue along. There was a couple things on Tesla today, a downgrade to start things off this morning, but it's been nothing but upside ever since. I mentioned that 180 this morning, retook it at the end of the day yesterday, got back above it immediately this morning, and has never looked back. So pretty good day overall.
Yeah, Tesla and Apple, the only Mag 7 names that are green on the day. Today, we saw that Cathie Wood was making comments with respect to Tesla and about how the total addressable market was likely to grow because of this 25,000 next-gen EV launch that everybody's talking about. Simultaneously, Daiwa Capital coming out today, cutting Tesla from outperform to neutral and reducing the price target to 195. But you wouldn't know it. Look at it today.
The market overall is shaking this off. I mean, a little bit of a move downside. There's more Fed comments coming through right now, guys. So just be aware there's a move downside here.
It's Collins that's up, but
Only Collins I want is a Tom Collins.
that's what. Hey, man, why not? Have a little bit of fun in the afternoon. Tesla is not moving right now, which is weird. I'm not expecting this, but. It is relatively strong. I had one trade on Tesla, and I'm now in the other direction on Lucid. I'll show you that in a quick second. But look at this sideways action. I do think Tesla's relatively strong. Probably can't break VWAP because everything's looking so heavy right now. When I say heavy, I mean market looking weak right now. Could be holding it down. But the fact that this is holding VWAP, I think it remains strong. I'm not looking for shorts in Tesla this afternoon. I'd look for it to break out off of VWAP. And really, it double bottomed. It felt to me like a 185 breakout. That breakout didn't work. I was in and out for like a 15-cent hit. I doubt we get back up there without something happening in the future. But I love the fact that you've double bottomed. You're trying to hold a higher low. Lucid's more of a break, a late breaker. I was short this in the morning. Some success and some failure, obviously. Got a little bit of a pullback, but this has been breaking up, and it just took out a triple top high. And I'm long off of that triple top. So I'm giving it to 340. And if it can squeeze, it's holding the highs while the market's coming down. I look at this 360 level back from the first of the month for a potential target here on Lucid. So it's a bit of a squeeze name as well. If Tesla breaks higher, I think it's got itself a bit of a shot. But we say Tesla downgrade. Tesla is up 1.5%, holding VWAP as the market's hitting lows. So I think a little bit of a reversal on the EV names.
Yeah, so for me, for Tesla, we already, we didn't understand the story, not the story. I mean, they're in choice hotels. Like, I don't know. I see Tesla chargers all over the place, which is great, by the way, if you're a Tesla owner. But all right, so there it is. We thought we were going to go short 182, man. We talked about that. literally the level that we wrote down there, and we thought that we were doing something pretty decent there with that short, but it doesn't look like it. So we got in and out, man. One hit wonder right there. We first took it at 181.50. We then took it at 181.80. Looks like 80s, and then there's the out at 182. So we do have one for a profit. The rest out there. Tesla. I heard Adara talk about how it's been sleepy all afternoon. I mean, that's exactly right. This is not attractive enough for me to look at right now. I'm net short everything. You can see what, the damage that we're doing on this market. I just ran it over. I have 3 positions. All of them are multiple dollars in the money. So I'm probably just going to hold on to them. I really like the market short, and if the market's going to go down, then I probably think Tesla is a decent short in and around 184. But the problem is, then if you get that and the market rips, you're dead, because Tesla is way better than the market today. So I would rather trade different names. Rivian, oh wow, it's still at the same spot we were just trading it at before, but again, we broke higher there. It was a short, cashed out, averaged back in, got hit to the upside right there. So unfortunately, this is going to be a hit on the account today, Rivian. So we have 2 red names today. Both are in the EV space. So yeah, but that's Rivian and Tesla. I'll probably leave them alone and just continue to work with what we've got on board here.
Let's talk some Chinese names here. We were mentioning this morning how some of the EVs, specifically ADRs, were doing a little bit better, but still holding up here is Alibaba. It was early last week. We were touching on I think it was the worst day in 2 years for Chinese stocks in the Asian session. Last night was the best day in 2 years then, heading the other direction. So volatility all over the place, but holding up nicely here is Alibaba.
Yeah, Brendo, every single Chinese ADR on my watch list is green on the day, and it's holding up. So you're not even getting retracements off the highs. We'll have to see how they do. It's running on this catalyst that Xi Jinping is set to address China's stock market with financial regulators to make some changes there. Also, they're looking at restricting more short selling, which obviously has a bullish effect on the market. Let's see how they do.
This Collins speech had no reference to monetary policy in it, but we still got that move down in the market there. Even, as I mentioned, EHang, 12% on the day, not bad.
Hello. There's a wealth of, what's a nice way to say this, like highly shorted, don't make money stocks making runs today. A lot of them, and I'm not to pick on any of them, but like, I mean, Peloton was
yeah, thanks Spotify.
Essentially at its highs. Well, no, we were talking about this earlier. I think like some of it maybe is related to, you get like a squeeze on like Palantir, which is 5% short interest, and maybe someone who bets against a bunch of other things. I don't know. Maybe they just feel some pressure. But that's another one of those EHang. Alibaba, I'm in and out. And just to give an idea, Alibaba 2-day run has been pretty spectacular. The difference today is it broke out of previous resistance in front of 70. This is 75.5. That was the start of the zone where I wanted to find buying. It just happened to turn there. So you saw this move down. This is the entry. It makes a low in front of that 75.5, so it hasn't broken that first support level, and then puts in this higher low, got in off of that at 76, scalps them out. Once it got to this little marker at the opening range top, that's where I jammed out of it. So it's about $1.30. There might have been a VWAP retrace in there when I don't think I was at my desk. Oh, you know what? No, I was prepping for I know why. I was getting ready for the real deal in the middle of the day, so I didn't have that level 2 up because I was doing my thing. But yeah, VWAP looks pretty good for Alibaba in the afternoon. Normally we say Chinese ADRs, they don't move, but on a day where this has 4%, this should give you opportunities, potential opportunities in the afternoon. Pinduoduo, which I said I like to dip by, you had to pick your poison. And I decided to pick Alibaba. Ended up being the right call. PDD did do a nice little dip buy and a top. The difference, Alibaba held it much better than Pinduoduo today. So definitely in the right one. Although if you bought the dip at the open, I think you won on all of the Chinese ADRs. Yeah,
we only look at Baba. Yesterday, we just go back to the well, right? Yesterday, we had a $3 winner on Alibaba. Today, we have another $2 winner. It's on board right now. It's $1.50. I actually bought some Alibaba in my own account. 2 days ago at $72. I talked about that on the show. I talked about it when it was against me. So, but here we go. It's a nice move up. $77, $78. I just want to hold this for the long term. This could completely blow up. They report Wednesday. So. we'll wait to see. But PricewaterhouseCoopers, the reason why I initially bought this name was because I was really nervous about China, right? And then when they IPO'd or listed over here in the US is when I first started getting involved. And that's when I was recognizing their accounting firm as Pricewaterhouse. So it's an American accounting firm, so we don't have to deal with, hopefully, too many issues there in China. And if they are, then their accounting will sort of match some of its peers here in the United States. But okay, we're still long this name until it breaks. So we're long here until it breaks, and that break is 77.40. We're long until 77.40 break.
Chips back to the upside right now, in fact, on a bit of a bounce with the overall market here. A whole bunch of positive analyst talk this morning, didn't matter much. For AI in general, we were talking 700 once again for NVIDIA in the pre-market. Ends up being the line in the sand today, but trying to get higher right now.
Yeah, keeping an eye on all these chip stocks today, Brendo. All of them, without exception, are red on my list. So it's been a tougher day for these chips names. We were talking this morning about that 700 break pre-market, and then we ended up failing that level on NVIDIA, moving about $25 lower. We'll have to see if we can reclaim that $700 tomorrow. That's exactly what happened last time. We broke 600 in the pre-market. We ended up reclaiming it the next day.
Let's be honest, it needs a bit of a pullback at this point, but still holding on to yesterday's low at this point, guys.
Yeah, you know what's weird? Like, we don't always look at Micron, and I feel as if there's days where like, oh, I like the levels on Micron. I'll pull it up there, and generally trading Intel, AMD, and NVIDIA. Those are the three. But today, I don't want to forget about AMD. I'll get there in a second, but I should have been looking at Micron. I don't know what to tell you. It's just, ever since it made this top channel, it's just look for it to crest, bounce, crest, and then once it puts in a lower high and starts to fade at the open, it just absolutely falls apart. It puts in a lower high at the open, falls apart. Again, it tries to hold a consolidation level. When it breaks back to red underneath 87, it did not look. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. I'm on the offer of AMD, so we'll get to that one, because you could have done the same thing with AMD. I want the 168. I don't think we're going to get the 168. This has been getting squashed all day long. There's support at 166. I'm showing you the 15-minute, just so that you can see the support at 166. But I'm offering here in front of 168. I might have to move this. I didn't get the fill when it was up there, but I like support, morning support, turning into afternoon resistance. So that's the play for me on AMD. If anything, I want to look in the other direction on Intel. I was in shorts off of VWAP. Those worked. I got one above VWAP. That didn't work. Then went into a long off of 42.50 that I got out of at 49s. But this is oddly kind of strong. I know it seems weird to say on Intel, but higher low, it was above VWAP for most of the day. You saw the chart of AMD and Micron. Like, I know it's down 0.5%, but it's still relatively strong compared to the other ones today. So I am going to favor the long on Intel and look for the short in AMD if I can get that 168. That's a play for the afternoon. Just an update on GUR, which is Gorilla Technology. I suppose I should, you know what? I'm the one sitting there saying don't confuse GRR with GRR. But it's Gorilla Technology. It's SSR, but I said I would take the $1 failure after this retest, grab the one short. I got some 98s at 1-to-1, 96s, 94s. I'm bidding 92s. Should be bidding 90s as well, but for some reason I'm bidding at the low of the day. So this one is just a dollar failure play, but acknowledging that it's SSR, I'm now moving my stop to $1 even. It was at 102, one of the local highs.
All right, I don't have anything to trade today as far as semis are concerned. The name that I was looking at right now was going to be ARM Holdings because it's kind of near a spot. It's right at VWAP right now. You know, this could be something. It's only down 0.22. I'd rather pick on something down a little bit more than that. But right now, yeah, this could be a decent level, ARM Holdings, in and around this 73.50 or so area. So let's wait to see if that could come through. But ARM Holdings, I don't mind this possible short, but you know, then it just retraces into there. Yo, what's up, Randy? Thing is, now I know when it's real or not because of the shirt.
Yeah,
you know, like so now
you gotta wear the shirt every day now.
Did Tesla today with a nice move up, and then all the way back down. I don't know. I mean, we're still, this is Tesla's chart today here, Randy. Huge move up in the morning as they go into some, that's me shorting it, so that's a...
Randy's on the bid at
that's a
182.50.
fail
See,
right
that's
there.
why it keeps on bouncing. There.
yeah.
How many
so
shares are you buying there?
181.50, 181.50.
Oh, 81.50.
I don't know, you like it, Randy? What do you like? You like Tesla down here or what?
I see a bigger dip though.
Yeah, I was thinking 170 or so. I mean, here's the daily. Why don't we call the daily up here so everybody can see it?
Oh, I threw a stink bid during lunchtime on Tesla, but I want 160. I think I went 168.42. I like the number 42, so I just kind of whatever. 68.42 is as good as anything.
Yeah,
I'm good, thanks.
I don't really ever drink them all, so let's get another one. I just pounded the water right here as well. All right, back. Are we done, or do we have to go back?
We did chips. We just did. Oh, you know what? Let's at least pull up NVIDIA. Sorry, guys. We talked about chip names, but then not NVIDIA. NVIDIA did that thing where it unceremoniously broke 700. And I want to say it did it like half a dozen times, but I honestly lost track of how many times it went back and forth off the 700 level in the pre-market before the open, and then it dumped the open. Now, the reality is we've been looking for shorts in other names. Like, I'd prefer short in AMD and Intel when it comes to the chip names. So I wasn't thinking 700 failure. If I was taking a chip name long, I did want it to be a breakout off the 700 level, but you can see where there was no breakout off that level, so there was no trade. And if you were looking fade off that level, then congratulations. You know, I think pretty much every single one of those chip names gave you the fade at the open. Sharif was saying something which actually, I don't know, it felt like it made some sense, and I've been thinking about this. When you get that kind of key level break, but it only does it in the pre-market, and then it never makes the break at the open, I wonder if there's just take the reversion trade. Like, it couldn't run away from the price in the pre. So you essentially were risking $1.50 or maybe $2 to short the breakdown at the bottom, failing 700. Like, you would have gotten, it's like 698.5. So call it $1.50 in slippage. And the actual pre-market low and support levels were in the mid 80s. Maybe there's a trade there. The next time we see something do that dipsy-do at a big level in the pre-market, it might be worth a look. I just remember Sharif saying something about that. So let's get back to the desk and finish it up with Brendo.
He's talking about Boeing right now and the missing bolts on these Alaskan planes, so just heads up on Boeing. The rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used on the desk by all the traders you see. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description for 20% off. They had that $2,400 prize for their Go Long. Now it's short only. New contest time. Win $2,400 on an Amazon gift card.
Short only, eh?
What stock would you YOLO short? I don't know what the time frame is for that.
I don't know. Yeah.
What would you YOLO short at these prices for? Well, you got NVIDIA earnings, so that's but then percentage-wise, you should take like a garbage company.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's just equities, if you can do options. I don't know anything about that contest.
I'm making the assumption.
Check it out.
I'm making the assumption it's equity, but
That's why we have that right there. Get 20% off. Go join them on that deal and see if you can YOLO short on something. I mean, Palantir is like, ooh, man, quite the name today, up 30% and still trying to go. Look how pretty that looks, 2999 right there. Yeah, so wow, we're all very excited about Palantir, fellow shareholders uniting today. And so it's a nice move to the upside right here for PLTR, and probably going to continue, I think. So I'm going to take that break of 85.
The 52-week high break, I think, is a no-brainer. You know what? Maybe it's okay. Up 30% at 21.85 is that.
So that's where we stopped, literally. Today.
Yeah. It's how do you actually bounce exactly off of the 52-week high?
Exactly.
Well, it did.
You keep going.
Up 30%, Randy, and it stopped at the 52-week high to the penny on Palantir.
And
it's actually uncanny. There's your 52-week high. Look at the run on the day in Palantir, and it stopped exactly to the penny at the 52-week high. Like, are you kidding me? Well,
I mean, some algo got this very bottom. I mean, look at this.
It goes both ways.
Look, there's the very bottom of the day right there. We caught that. Thank you, Randy, for the coffee. But a straight move to the high side there. We love Palantir.
I was going to add one thing that makes Palantir make the move even more impressive. Palantir is back at the highs. You would think Snowflake is at least some kind of a sympathy play. I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but Snowflake is down 2%.
Yeah.
Down 2% and basically just stair-stepping like the market is. Like if I were to do this and then I go to the NASDAQ, you can see the stair-step down on the NASDAQ. One's a 15-minute, one's a 60-minute, so it's not exactly the same, but it is stair-step down. So not exactly rising all ships, although I will say it definitely made a move for C3AI. But AI is more of a squeeze name. Snowflake is not a squeeze name. C3AI just got caught up in that. GUR made a nice move into the Gorilla Technology made a nice move into the downside off that $1 level. I did cover 60% of it in that move, 96, 94. I got another fill at 94 to get 60% on. I'm bidding at 92s. I've moved my stop back to the $1 level. If it goes back above $1, I'm just going to get out of it. But on the way back in, I'll probably take some more at the 96 and 94 levels on this. Temporary penny stock. And for anyone that was noting that Boeing story, before you think it's all doom and gloom, one might think with the market at the lows and negative news on Boeing that it would be at the low of the day. No, Boeing is at the high of the day and threatening a breakout. So take that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying take that too.
Exactly. Take that. Take that, Boeing.
I
don't think it was a negative Boeing story. I just think he was saying it was on TV there. I don't.
Oh, is that okay? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Boeing
I heard bolts and missing, and I don't know if
Yeah.
they've high of day.
Yeah, they got those missing bolts. And again, Boeing, I mean, just congratulations, man. We talked about buying it the other day at 203. It's at 210 right now, breaking higher at 211. Take your couple percentage points and run the hell away from that one. All right, so no, don't do that. I'm waiting for 230. Anyways, we broke that trade down a couple times there. Go check out the podcast.
50 period moving average is 230.
Yeah, man, did we have a good time this week on the podcast. Go check it out. Rivian. I mean, I think if you were going to YOLO anything to the downside, maybe it would be Rivian, to be honest with you, or some of those EV names just in case. Because if Tesla continues to break, then watch out now. Where did I say my Disney out was? Because this is starting to come back in a little bit. 98.64. Okay, still a while. I'm going to now change that. This is already a big trade. You guys are literally seeing it live.
Palantir's at 80.
Okay, yeah. My order's already in there. 98.83. So let's just do a 98.79 breaking spot there. Put our order in, accepted, perfect. All right, so if, because like Neil just mentioned, we got to go over to Palantir, but if Disney drops out, we'll watch out for that. So here's Palantir, and here we go. All right. Well, we're going to punch long at 21.85 as long as, let me just double check, that order is still in because sometimes they randomly get canceled, it seems like. All right, we have a spider trigger. My spider trigger is 11 cents away from my price, so we're at 10 to 1 on that right now. We're going to hold it. I just want to hold till the end of the day. I don't even care where it goes. We only have 10% left on all of these trades. Like I said already, Google our triggers there, Disney and Palantir our trigger is there. So, yep, all right. So as long as we break 21.80, which we will do, it's 21.85, there it goes. So as if it didn't even exist. The share size today, 330 million shares on Palantir. And we have the bottom of the open market right there. So too bad we still don't, but let's see where it goes now. We'll get back into this name. And then if and when we punch in, I don't think you can drop it until 21.60. If you do that, I mean, you're in this for more than 20 cents, right? So let's see if we can break it, hold it back to the 50-period moving average. That's how I'm trading it. But again, like we say, man, everybody trades their own book. So you guys do what you want, and everybody will be dependent on their own share size and whatnot and risk tolerances. So that's what I'm doing. If and when, I'm going to say when. I mean, we get long at 21.80. Hopefully, I'll get long at 21.87.
The slippage on the what was the slippage on the 20 break? It was 5 cents.
No, I got nothing. I got 21 even. Believe it or not.
No, the 20.
Oh, yeah, whatever it was.
The pre-market 20? I didn't get
the pre-market, no, I was already long.
That was 05, and I missed it when I went
right here. It was a 21 break, was huge, but I actually got 21s. So I think it just did that dance.
Yeah, sometimes you get that algo dance where like there's an algo print above and then it doesn't really break the offer and then you get a great fill because you've triggered and then you
I don't expect that again.
No, I think you get 87, 88, but we'll see what happens. I am close to short, not yet, but I'm just checking up. AMD is getting close to 168. So I still like AMD in front of that 168 level. So one of those two is going to hit imminently. In the Palantir, I feel like a lot of people are looking at Palantir making a 52-week high in a couple of cents, but AMD getting close to 168 as well could be next. I suppose there's probably some out there that would say, why not just sit on the offer at like 83 and 84 and short it back into 2140? I think you almost pick your poison. I remember it was Apple at, forget the exact number, maybe it was 180, where sometimes you try to go both ways and you end up just burning yourself. It's like stick to the direction you want to play at that key price level. It's not that you can't go both directions. Certainly flipping from short to long isn't that big of a deal. Flipping the other direction could be an issue when you have to declare your short sale. But I'm only going long breakout. All right, Palantir, you're not going to go.
It's not going to go right now. I just quickly about the SPY because I don't normally trade things that move this aggressively, obviously. So I just had to adjust my stop. This was an 11-cent stop. Okay, it went about 2-something down there. We're short 493.50. It went to 492.10 or so. I'm gonna get stopped out if we break in and around here. I just want to give everyone an idea in case you're watching or playing along. 492.91. So I guess view up. It was a little bit different on my other computer, but anyways, if we break above 492.90s, then we're going to get out. We're going to make sure that we do capture 70 cents on the last 10%. But yeah, anyways, nice move to the downside. Again, once we took the 50 period, that was a bigger out for me right there at 16. And then you guys saw we completely cranked. I was like, oh my God, and I went over there. And like I said, man, I fully admit it. I have the P&L up, so once it goes, we get out, which can be a mistake. All right, so here we go. 492.60 starting to come back in for the SPY. We have our target for Disney. That's 225 in the money right now as we bought basically that dip. This is, again, 6 cents worth of risk for 220 cents. Google, SPY, and Alibaba. So we'll look for some more. It was Bitcoin is still 43.1. How bad is Coinbase these days? Like
I didn't even look today.
Yeah, 120. Yeah, it could be something there. You know what? Someone just said DraftKings there. What's up to Viking? The Viking Nomad wants to look at DraftKings. The DraftKings has come up on some of my
Victory.
Yeah.
What was the name of the show?
Wasn't there Game of Thrones or?
No. It was like Johnny Drama, the character from Entourage. Like he was in the show, and that's where Victory comes from. I haven't watched that show in forever. Entourage, so
we just got out of Alibaba there on the way down.
Two things. One, I did get into. You'll see I'm into AMD.
Crazy.
Off of that it didn't get to 168. Come to my chart for a quick second. There we go. So this is 167.80, which is a local top. It started to curl in front of it. I grabbed essentially a 50 short.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's hilarious.
What was it? It's Viking Quest.
As soon as I read that, I got to rewatch that, man. I watched like.
Where can you see that though?
Entourage, HBO. It was an HBO show.
Oh, so of course it's HBO.
Yeah, so Crave.
So Crave for us.
Oh, I just finished watching Eastbound and Down. That was pretty funny. So shout out to that show. It's not. I mean, everything is always funnier the first time I find, especially that show, because it's very silly. But all right,
a great show. Now the funny thing is that now I'm just sort of chuckling and thinking about the characters. So two things. I did get the AMD short.
Viking
and then,
Quest. That was funny.
He's such a good character.
That's really
one of our buddies we used to nickname Johnny Drama. I don't even know why we called Angel Johnny Drama, but he turned into a thing. I just got out break even on GUR, Guerrilla Technologies there. We did take about half out when it got down to 94. If it does another failure, I might jump back underneath it. The volume's really drying up on that bad boy. So I'm gonna back off of that. But it looks like the entry into AMD is starting to peel back. As the future.
I just went long on a possible rumor here. So Kohls, KSS right now, trying to explore strategic opportunities. Brendan will probably have the story or something soon, but KSS right now, huge spiked up $1. I'm just gonna give this back to 20. I just put a stop order in pretty pretty aggressively if it fails, man. 2680. So if we break back above 2680, we're gone. I take the 27 break. I just went over to it, pushed bid enter. I want to give it 20 cents, see if we could take 40 cents on the first. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll see if we could take 20 cents on the first piece, because that would make the most sense on that one. But there goes KSS nicely. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Did we just get that? We're at 40s. Yes, sir. Let's go. All right, nice move up for KSS right there. We just go 2-1 on that. We just told you that we are at 2680 break, and there it goes, man, 2740 right now. So let's go on this one. If you remember about KSS, this smart management team denied, I think it was a $60 or $70 offer earlier in 2022, now down to $27. So
the bigger deal is it's 29% short.
yeah, exactly. So
Sorry, 20 and a half.
So let's go, man. I mean, we're here again for you. Here it is, man. KSS. It's a ho-hum, another one, brought to you by Real Trading. Almost said day trade the world.
You know what?
But if you want real trading and you want the real deal, I mean, we're long right now,
trading.
KSS. There. It's not where. What are you pointing at?
Your screen blocks it.
Oh, there's the logos down there?
The logo's there, essentially.
I
The program
slap the
screen
logo at
gets
my
marked,
face.
gets blocked off by our trading screen, so I can't see one side, Sean can't see the other at the bottom there. But 28.5% short float. If you're short a company and there is buyout rumors, now I've never been in this position as an investor, I've never shorted anything in my personal account, I think I'd be trying to cover. You just throw that one out there.
Stephen Harper is trying to, former Canadian Prime Minister hedge fund, pushes Kohls to sell itself.
That's all. That is correct.
Yeah, that is correct.
See, he's keeping himself busy.
He's keeping himself real. And we have
No
$1.20, we have KSS, we have Google, we've got Disney. Come on, Harper, go over there and start talking some nice stuff about Disney. Disney breaking $100. That could happen tomorrow. Then we have earnings, and then we to the moon, baby. We look, man, we're 80 and change on our long for Disney. So, like I said, man, $80, like I think it's 88 and change is the price that we have. So we're up now about 12 or 15%, maybe a little bit more on Disney. We're long in this account as well. Let's go Disney back up to the upside. Remember, this is why I don't have very many shares. We're already out half of KSS. So this will not be a loser, even if it drops back into the 2680, which it looks like it's trying to do. If it breaks 2680, we're gone. Obviously, we'll take away some of the profits, but here it comes. So we will get executed out of this trade if and when it does break. So watch out there. We brought the news to you. It's KSS breaking through 2680, and we should be out in a minute. There it is. Wow, we just got executed out because I guess something printed a little bit lower. We got 2680 flat there. So that was a pretty good out. Who knows? But there it is right there, man. In and out. That's a profitable trade. So we'll put another one on our board. And by the way,
Palantir broke.
here we go again. It's Palantir. We'll take some out right there. And we will take some out at 90. We will now wait for 95s. Let's go PLTR. Let's see if we can moon on that one. It's Palantir taking out 52-week highs. And I mean, this has been the biggest name. We've been talking about this for at least 12 weeks. Week 1 of the podcast was all about PLTR. And here we go again. We were waiting for this day. It's Palantir. It's up 31%. It's a big stock on the show here today.
31%. Let that sink in.
Yeah, we actually got 86.5 on that break. So not bad. We'll take it.
Would you use Edge A?
No, I didn't have the break until we broke through. So I didn't tell.
I got 85.5 on Edge A though.
Right, so that's what I was gonna say. I didn't have the break until it broke 86.
Oh, gotcha. So you
Yeah.
got the.
So the best I could have got was the price I got, I feel like. All right, so here it is. We took out 10% there for 5 cents, which is nothing. We do have another offer at 95 for that dime. We always try to take dimes. And then we will take a much more than that, hopefully, as we break above $22 and we look for like I'll just put a 22.09 fill there. We'll see if we can get that. But hey, man, it's back in the building right now. It's Palantir, and now let's see how high this name can fly.
And imagine what the 22 level is going to look like as well. So I want to get it out. I do the same thing as you. I want to get it out in front of 22. I just jammed out of AMD, broke the 168. We said we'd get out at 168, and we did. Do not want to hold it into VWAP as the market's starting to bounce. Plus, it's 245, and usually you know who comes on and bounces the market. The other thing is, there's no reason that I can see for GUR. It started working at that dollar level. I went break even, stop. I got out at $1.50, and for whatever reason, this shot up to like 118. So that dollar is key. I see a volume spike like that in a press. I'm trying to go back long in front of $1 here on the way back in. That came out of nowhere. Like I got out, and like 1 minute later, the stock went 15% up. So I don't think it was anything more than $1 is $1 and it's psychological. But it is time for Frank. Can he get the market? Well, market always bounces this time. Let's see Palantir at that 22 level.
Yeah, we just got to worry about Palantir.
Frank at the desk with Brendo.
There we go. Almost. There we go. Hey, Frank, good to see you. Let's get a check on what has happened this week so far. It's been pretty interesting in the sense of we had 2 days in a row of yields just absolutely exploding back higher. They are coming off a little bit today, but if you rewind the clock, when last we spoke, we were discussing some of the comments that came from Fed Chair Powell last week and some of the indications thereafter suggesting that maybe these rate cuts that everyone's been holding their breath over going to be a little bit later in the year. We just had Kashkari this afternoon. We had Mester as well, both indicating that they are still looking for cuts later in the year. So Fed speak today a little bit more on the dovish side. They didn't give a time frame for that, but if we look at some of this jobs data that we've had not only back on Friday but going back to last month, why are they going to cut anytime soon here?
It is pretty hard to make a case for it given this data that we've seen, like to your point, the last 2 months, but especially this most recent month here as the highest employment data that we've seen in the last year, Brennan, and twice what was expected. And so really, really unbelievable numbers here. Now, of course, this is the second tier to the first tier of inflation. But these numbers do tend to move together, higher employment, higher wage growth, higher amounts of money flying around, and prices for goods and services escalating higher than that 2% target, which the Fed hasn't been able to get to quite yet. And so there's obviously a synergy between all of this. But just to let you know how big of an over this number was, we usually will see a bunch of volatility around the number, and then maybe the dust settles and markets move back to where they were, or they have shifted slightly in the wake of a non-farm or a CPI or a PCE inflation number. But yeah, to your point, 2 consecutive days of trending off of this number, and we usually don't get that type of price action, that continued price action of rates exploding on Friday, closing essentially right up at those highs, opening higher, and then on Monday, another volatile day to the upside. Today giving back a little bit of ground, and stocks trying to bounce back a little bit. Crypto's bouncing back a little bit, and US dollars giving up some of its gains. But yeah, absolutely unbelievable number that has really shaken up the short-term yield curve, if that's what you want to call it. What I would look at as where overnight rates are expected to be over the next 7 FOMCs. We're 1 down, 7 to go, and it's not looking good for rate cut fans here in March. Under a 20% chance, absolutely crazy price action in interest rates. And this right here shows you, because a week ago this was 50%, even after that FOMC that, to your point, was actually interpreted as a little bit dovish last week, and these odds went from around 40% up to 50%, and then this non-farm number comes out and now under 20%. And I know you and the guys talked about this last week of, will this be one of the first FOMCs that we head into and it's close to 50-50, and right away they absolutely annihilate the odds of a rate cut coming in March. And we'll look at the rest of the odds in just a second. But man, it has been a wild move for interest rates the last 48 hours or so here in the market.
What do we make of this then? You know, you and I have discussed the simple fact that they're still pricing in all of these cuts to come over the next foreseeable, you know, weeks and months here, going into the latter half of 2024. You know, what if that is not the case? I mean, the market is saying, you know, we are going to get something. And as I mentioned, you know, we're still hearing some Fed speakers coming out, you know, day after day saying, yeah, they still expect something to happen this year. But if you zoom in here on the 10-year specifically, it's a bit of a V bottom, you know, back above, you know, not only 4, but right back to 4.2 almost.
Yeah, this number is definitely shaking things up, but I think you make a really valid point, because I'll come out and again, I was wrong in December. You asked me point blank when the odds were 80 to 85% of a rate cut in this March meeting back in December. That's how high they were, and you said, you know, Frank, where is your lean here? What do you think, given this where the futures market is putting the March FOMC? And I guess stupidly said, they must know something that I don't. If it's 85%, that's pretty overwhelming. And so there must be some macroeconomic whatever reasoning, because to the point that we're making here, the employment data is still strong. Inflation is still over 2%. And yeah, 10-year rates, everything is bouncing back here in recent trade here to start 2024. 10 years back above 4%. I was just looking, the 30-year, even though 2s and 10s and the majority of the yield curve is off today, 30 years are actually holding in strong now above 4.25%. And so I think this idea of the market knows the Fed funds futures, they're pricing in, you know, an 85% chance of a cut in March. And so that might as well be 100%. You have to challenge that a little bit. And yeah, you make a great point, and we can take a look at the odds for future rate cuts, because now the conversation becomes, you know, if they are going to cut 4 or 5 times here, Brendan, in 2024, and the March cut is now kind of slipping away, the May one is the next one on the board. And even though the odds right now are around 60% of a rate cut at the May meeting, what happens if we get strong employment data in March, or strong inflation data here in February and March? And again, they have no reason to cut come May. You're going to see these interest rate markets really start to shift, and that 10-year maybe climb back to 4.5%. But what's been really interesting is that amid all of this, it's been earnings season, and the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are right there at all-time highs, and really don't seem to care about interest rates bouncing back here. And that kind of makes sense, because they're bouncing back on strong US data, whereas, yeah, the inverse relationship we've seen historically was kind of like, this data is so strong that interest rates are out of control, and we don't know how high they're going to get. And that's why you see the red line there, S&P, seeing its lows as rates are making their highs, because there was a lot of unknown at that time back in 2022, especially. That's like, how high are rates going to go, and how much is that going to hamper the economy? Right now, in that gray square, you're seeing 10 years and S&Ps here to start the year, both moving higher together, which we haven't seen in recent years. And I think that that is actually a sustainable environment here, that rates and stocks can move higher together, as long as rates don't make a new high and inflation maybe stays at 2.5, 3.5%, but doesn't get back to, you know, 6, 7, 8%, back into that unknown territory. Because I think that's what freaked out the stock market the first time. And I think at this point, Brendan, I mean, they've priced out in the last couple of days here, they've effectively priced out a full rate cut since non-farm payrolls, and the S&P made a new all-time high on Monday. So it doesn't seem to be this one-for-one relationship of more rate cuts, higher stock prices, as long as it's not more rate hikes coming. The stock market seems to be doing its own thing.
Yeah, and you make a great point in that is 3%, is 4% now the new
Yeah.
2%, maybe with inflation. Going forward, there's a couple things to consider here, and it comes as quickly as a week today. I was just checking, is the next CPI reading is next Tuesday morning, where we'll get that next look at inflation. And then after that, we have a couple weeks to go until we hear from the Fed. Going into March, though, it's worth mentioning that'll be the first projections that we get from the economic projections that we get from Fed Chair Powell, and also another dot plot. So that'll be very telling as far as what they are now thinking, given all this data that they even referred to going back to the last meeting, you know, saying that we're going to get 2 sets of data points before the next Fed meeting to consider here. So a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's now been an instance of the Fed and their projections winning out over the market, having to price out that rate cut and potentially pricing out a couple more here, especially if that dot plot comes in again. Last time we looked at it in December, it was 2 to 3 cuts. Let's call it 3 cuts has been the Fed's projection. And at the time, the market pricing in 6 cuts. Now the market giving a little bit of way, pricing in around 4 to 5 cuts. And you can see that those cuts are all very vulnerable. Like that 63% in May of a cut can easily go the way of the March cut. And if that gets priced out, it's really, really tough to see an environment where the Fed cuts every meeting the remainder of the year. And so that means less than 5 cuts potentially. But right now, looking at between 4 and 5 cuts, essentially 100 basis points or 1 full percentage point lower here in 2024. As to your point, 4% has become the new 3%, what we were looking at the end of last year. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if the market continues to shift to align with the Fed, or if something does come out of nowhere. Again, to that point of like, I don't know if someone knows something that I don't, or that Jerome Powell doesn't know, but with the strong employment data and the strong inflation, it seems really difficult to envision rate cuts coming in March or even May. It seems far away now, but yeah, if they've priced out this March cut, there's only a handful of data points that could signal, oh, inflation now is at 2% by May, or employment now is starting to hit on the under expectations on a month by month basis. So it'll be interesting to track. Obviously, yeah, the CPI coming up. But what's really nice is for those multi-asset class traders, Brendan, they're getting a nice piece of diversification between stocks and everything else, as yeah, stocks aren't trending one direction or the other because of interest rates. It's not a one-for-one trade right now. But we'll see what happens in the near future here. If they start to move higher again with these inflation numbers, and Jerome Powell starts talking about no cuts, that's when we have some dangerous territory for stocks. But right now, it seems like as perfect as a soft landing as you could get.
Yeah, and at the same time, you know, we're starting to see more and more of these headlines signaling more job cuts are being made. There's layoffs almost on a daily basis. You know, I feel like we're talking about these headlines coming from companies now. And I'm sitting here as you're speaking, the market's trying to get back to highs on the day once again. So the market doesn't seem to care. So as long as, you know, these strong data points are coming in, and again, everyone mark your calendars down again, Tuesday is the next CPI reading. Why would they at this point? Why would they need to? It seems inevitable.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Jerome Powell, recent Fed chair people have just not wanted to be pressured one way or the other unless the data makes them head that direction. But I guess we're at the point, Brendan, where we are with a fine-tooth comb looking through these inflation numbers. And you and I have joked about, but I think it's very real. Is it 2% exactly So if we don't get 2% exactly from CPI or PCE by the May meeting, no cut, or is it 2.2 or 2.3%? I mean, the futures traders will let us know as these data points come out. But yeah, unbelievable move here, unbelievable non-farm from last week. But it seems like the dust has settled a little bit.
Yeah, let's
now.
see what happens on Tuesday. If we get a huge downtick, with CPI on Tuesday, then this whole story will change, I'm sure, once again. Frank Caberna, great stuff as always. Director of Strategy over at IG.com in Chicago. Thanks again.
Thanks, Brennan.
Thank you very much there, Frank. And I don't know, I don't think they'll hold till exactly 2%. I mean, they're happy with the strength in the economy. I think as it's a target range. You get close enough to it and you're confident that it's holding lower. That's just my 2 cents. I want to get to it. We had a super chat, Brian Peppers, and we didn't get to it. If you're watching Palantir, it's still 22 at the top with a couple million shares on the offer. But it was a question. Please look into FTNT, Fortinet earnings later after the close. Curious your thoughts. Well, I like cybersecurity. It was episode 2 of the pod when I was like, I love the cybersecurity names, specifically the top 2, Crowd and PanW. I think Zscaler as well. All of these have been pretty strong. However, not all have been breaking out local highs. So I want to get to, just quickly, going to go on my trade ideas and show you where you're breaking on the weekly. This is one with a little bit of room to run. The issue is I'm not a let's gamble before earnings type of player. So like a technical setup like, oh, but you have the lower high in the weekly at 65, and if it breaks out the top at 68 here, that's a trade. You don't get that trade on earnings. If it reports well, they're just going to gap above it. Do I think if it closes above 68 on the weekly, does it look great? Yes, it's in a space I like. I'm not going to say anything negative about the cybersecurity names whatsoever. So strong mover. I think it should be on our radars. It's not my first pick in the sector, but the weekly chart is showing you a big gap that it is trying to fill with a local breakout. FTNT, I don't believe, has a gigantic short float. But yeah, I love the cybersecurity space. I've been learning a little bit more about it because my wife is involved in data management and has been learning a lot about data security at an insurance company. So I think it's in the right space to be sure. Palantir, it just keeps going back and forth. Like 22's been on the offer.
I mean, I got some 99s there.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm not shorting this level because I think you're getting too much slippage. I doubt you're going to get 1s and 2s if you short 99s on the way out. But taking something out in front of the 22 level makes some sense. Let's go back to Brendo.
This one moving around here, a cloud company. I've never heard of this. So Qualys Incorporated, QLYS. Still looking for a reason on this, guys. But I was just checking. They report next week. So I was wondering if this was like an earnings leak or something, but no such luck yet.
Okay, you can watch Palantir with me here. I mean, there's 22. There's a lot of size on that. I've been getting some out as we made it to these levels. Obviously, we're still going to hold some for this break. I mean, we've loved Palantir for a very, very long time today, including sitting our you-know-what's down and buying this name at 830. So we bought it at 20 bucks. We bought it at 1980. We got out on the way in. We got more on the 21 break. We tried it at VWAP. We missed it, and now we got it again right here, right now on that break. So, I mean, I was talking with my guy Patrick over here, and it's like when you like something, you just go for it. And we like Palantir. We went for it, and the rest is pay dirt. So let's see what happens now as we continue to break it. Remember, everybody's going to trade different styles, different share sizes, so on and so forth. I have not too much exposure, but enough for me to get out in and around here. So we're starting to piece this out around 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. My best fill is 99. And I only have a third right now. Again, so that's fine for me. We'll have a third on this one. We're really, as you could tell, I don't know if you could tell, we're super comfortable. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, and we're still gunning right now. So it's 3 o'clock.
There it goes.
Bye-bye. Ciao, Bella.
Right to 5.
Yeah, exactly. Right up to 5s. I'm sitting at 09, and let's go. Palantir, let's ride.
That's part of the problem with that notion short of like 98, 99. It was popping down to 92, 93. Like you're shorting and you're getting 5 or 6 cents, and when it breaks, you might be slipped to 3 or 4. That's what doesn't work about that short. If you're pretty confident that you're going to get out at evens or ones, then shorting 99 is not a bad scalp trade. It's all about the expectations. My stop was at 21.80, so I was risking 6 cents plus slippage on the breakout long. So I still think it can be a hold. It's all blue skies up here. There's no levels anymore on Palantir. This is the 52-week high that just broke. So there are levels. You got to go really far back as this chart loads up, just to show you the point. 23 on the daily, 23.35. I'm not saying it gets there, but you're past the last significant price level that's in there on Palantir. So at this point, you're just reading tape and looking for it to show signs of failure. In particular, I am still in Lucid to the long side. Whoops, don't care about I was still on the daily chart when I pulled Lucid up, and that happened. Yuck, that's all I gotta say. So it did bounce off 340. I'm looking for a break of this local top. It's a bit of a squeeze potential play name as well, but let us know what you guys are trading, because I'm still looking for that dip, which I guess is not happening on Gorilla Technologies back into $1. I'm not gonna get it. Once it broke out, thankfully we got out when it was break even. I was looking for a dip back in front of 1. It held 106 and is continuing to go. So this looks like take the stairs up, maybe VWAP in here in front of 110. But I'd like to try to get a piece of this before it gets to the high, which is here, right up at 130. So pre-market it got higher, but the opening range high is $1.30. I'd like to get something in the low teens before it gets there.
All right, we took an 05 out there for Palantir, so that's good for that one. I just want to see here right now. Let's see what Bill Ackman's portfolio looks like. Thanks to Dara for this one. Oh yeah, and by the way, the NOS boss yesterday, Michael NOS. Let's go Palantir. We said we're waiting for 09s. It's at 08 right now. All right, what do we got here? We got some CP, we got some Google, some Chipotle, some restaurant brands. Shout out to Tim Hortons, Hilton Worldwide, Lowe's. Something Hughes. Oh yeah, Hughes. What is that? HHH is Hunter.
That's Howard Hughes.
Howard. Okay, Howard. I was gonna say, is it Hunter? Howard Hughes, right? And then Google, and that's that. So all right. So not too confusing of a portfolio there, but shout out to Mr. Ackman, as he's a pretty controversial follow these days. But there we go.
Chipotle's aftermarket tonight.
Yeah, Chipotle's aftermarket today. Okay, here we go, guys. That's it. Spin it. Obviously, we're going to be at day's high. We're still trying to gun for the man, the myth, the legend behind us there. But here we go, man. 22.14. Palantir starting to go. $2.40 in the money on Disney. Another 26 cents on Palantir. Like, honestly, this is the day that we're waiting for, guys. It's a monster move up for Palantir. I did not get out of any during lunchtime. Palantir still mooning, guys.
One of the viewers actually asked that.
Yeah,
Answer, I told him in the chat. I said none. So what did you do with Palantir in your personal account? Nothing. Didn't buy anymore. Didn't sell anything.
No. We're already. I mean,
we would have said something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm juiced up already. So I mean, if Palantir goes, whatever, man. I'm going tonight to the Scotia Arena. My daughter plays tonight on the ice at Scotiabank, which is where the Maple Leafs play. She'll be there with Maple Leaf coaches. She'll also be there with Maple Leaf players. And I was telling Neil that after that, we got a spread over on the Raptors practice court, which should be a lot of fun, as well as her team qualified or something for that. There we go, 22-18 again. So let's go, man. We're ready to rock and roll. And there's no rest for the wicked. I mean, you know, I'm staying back. My family's coming here to meet me. And then after the market recap show, which I'm doing for you guys, hopefully she won't be late, that again comes right away at 4 to 4:30. Go find me on LinkedIn. Go find me on Twitter. Go find me everywhere. Instagram. A couple great posts up there as well. But yeah, you know, often imitated, never duplicated. That is the Trader TV Live Sean account. So, all right, go for it, man. I mean, yeah, Disney and Palantir. Let's go. Blue skies ahead, and we'll probably just be chilling out right now. What's up to Ryan? Bears versus Bulls and all that. Oh, you did that as a kid, Ryan, at MSG. Yeah. So both my kids. My son has played at not halftime, intermission it's called here, obviously, with hockey. with the Maple Leaf, so he played on that ice as well, and they both played on Marley's ice and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, lots of fun, great memories. You know, I miss a lot because I do stuff with you guys, but you know, we're doing it for you guys. So let's keep it going. Support the recap show, support the podcast. Kids are only young once, but we're only here doing this show once. It's Trader TV Live, man. Watch it tonight and support the damn channel. Hey, what's up, Chef Joe?
What up, Chef Joe, for sure. Nimit, you're 100% right. Well, I'll get there in a second, but you'll see, oh, you're not going to see it just yet, but you'll see, now that I am out of Palantir, going to get to loose in a second, I just took the first tip. It's blue skies. There's no levels to work off of. I'm just looking for the first, like, actual sign of selling after the breakout, which was just there at the 15 level. So I jammed out of it. I'm going to look for a re-entry off previous consolidations, 2190. That makes sense to me. If it breaks out and consolidates again, I'll jump over to that as well. I just think you take the stairs up, but it is getting awfully high here. I'm on the offer of Lucid trying to grab that, but shout out to you, Nim. And I know we said we liked Snapchat. It didn't get VWAP. It just took out the highs. The market's at the tops as well. This Palantir is a different beast. It's done 360-something million shares of volume, and it's up 30-something% or whatever it happens to be right now. Snapchat is not a high break name for me. This is a dip. They're reporting after the bell tonight. This is more of a get a good level to dip by, as opposed to try to take a top break when the report's going to come, and you'll catch that on the and the recap show for Snapchat. So I know it's breaking the tops. I don't want any part of a top break. I want to look to catch a dip by in Snapchat. You got to be willing to miss out on a trade and not always have to chase something. It's one thing when it's going parabolic. When it's giving you like a standard stair step up, don't try to turn it into something that it's not. Right? It's easy to get that when other things are making that kind of a move. So I am still looking for that bid. If we get it, we get it. I don't know if we're going to get a chance at, oh, wait a minute. I was just saying, I should have just, okay. I was about to say, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance at Gorilla at VWAP, and then Gorilla comes into VWAP. I'm using a 3-minute chart, so VWAP on a 3-minute here, standard. I just picked up 114s. Want to give it to 10s. You can see this volume spike. When it broke out from here, that was 11, so I'll give it to 10s. With slippage, it's about 5 cents worth of risk. On Gorilla Technologies, or something like that, it's running. It's got 45 million volume. Retook the dollar with some gusto. Now we're bouncing into VWAP.
As you guys can see here, I just circled all this. I'm going to tweet this all out just so you guys can see what's going on here. You know, early buy right there on Palantir. More buys, more no sells, more buys. Sells on, no short sells. And then right there, we just got a great fill there at 22.20 or so, or 22, what's the high? 18s. We actually got that 18 fill. So we have the bottom of the day right there flat, 1980. And then we also have the top for temporarily right there as well for Palantir. So we'll post that up. And again, it's the #1 name today on the sticky note. We'll do a sticky note review at the end of the day, but like we also put a lot of money. You got to watch all day because we actually, one of the top stocks here today is going to be the Spiders, and we just started trading that. So that's that. But here we go right now. Well, we didn't start. We started in the afternoon. You never know when the market's going to give you opportunities, right? And so I do go for a walk, and we did that today. So here it is on Palantir right now. Huge name, great trading name. Let's get to this on the long side. I mean, already in here at $20 break. Dips should be considered. Now 5 gap positive reports, S&P 500 inclusion inbound. Palantir, we talked about it right here as well. Any dips down to 1950. We got 1980 there right now. Patient podcast, consistent recommendation. So there it is right there, man. And the Alibaba long was huge. Look at this Uber, $69 support level. I mean, on Uber, like, I don't know if you guys saw this, another top name here today, but look what Uber's doing right now at the high of the day. And yeah, about that $69 support level. Let's go. Unfortunately, we got it all out right there at $69.30, thinking we were doing pretty good. Yeah, that dip by, and then boom, right back up to the upside. So, hey, man, we say this all the time, but you got to believe in your stuff as well. We probably should have held on to something on Uber, but we held on to Alibaba, which was a good one. We wound up taking at the end of the day it breaks there. There's honestly, it just, everything's going to look ridiculous because everything kind of broke back down. But there's an out right there. And honestly, I'm not going to be sad about that. That's a 76 long and out at 77.40. So we're just going to stay true to who we are, man, and just continue the party here with these names. So Alibaba, a little bit of a dip buy into 77 would be kind of cool. We do have some good earnings tonight. We can, if we have the earnings board, we could call that up if and when we get to it. But again, tonight,
there's a lot.
yeah, there's a lot, man. I'm going to be really all over Snapchat, and a name that I'm long in and around 1050 or so for Snapchat. We have cleared out some position. I still have about 30% of it. I was checking on it. You know, we're long down here. It's been a monster move up for Snapchat. It's trying to figure itself out. This looks to me like it wants to break. And then the other name that I put on the board was Chipotle as well. Should be interesting. And then, of course, Ford Motor Company. But here we go.
And then tomorrow morning.
Wow,
yeah,
end phase
it's
as
a
well
lot.
tonight. There is a lot tonight.
And we mentioned Fortinet of the cybersecurity name as well.
Yep.
But Snapchat's, that's probably the one that I think a lot of people, I mean, Enphase, yeah, Enphase and Snapchat, I think are going to take the cake. Tomorrow morning, Alibaba. I mean, let's be real. But,
it'll be overnight.
you know, it hasn't always been fundamentals with them. Remember, like, morning for Alibaba means, like, really early. And then Uber as well. Oh, shoot, I forgot Roblox. You were on Roblox today. There's a lot tomorrow morning. Don't sleep on it. There's a lot tomorrow morning because Uber has been an absolute rocket ship. Roblox as well going to be a player. I'm just sort of looking at some of these other
before
names.
market open at 8:30. I mean, we had Roblox. I mean, on our list today, we had Roblox, we had Uber, we had Alibaba. So we had all those names listed on here as well as Palantir, Tesla. So like, if you're looking for names to trade, man, I mean, these are all the ones I'm trading. I could call it up just to show you. You know, we have pretty much like. It's pretty early in February. I'm not sure we have a red day yet, but things have been really going well. We had a really great January, and you know we're just still going. It's been a great earnings season. You're now through. Last week had 32%, or this what day is it today? Yeah, last week had 32%, and I don't know what it is this week, but I guess the rest of the big S&P 500 companies coming this week, and man, like we had Uber long.
There's still plenty.
We have two red names today. We've traded Apple. Apple was a monster short for me early. Still one of the top names here today. And I just did this on it. Like, that's how many shares we were using. Alibaba, that's 2 for 2 today. Disney, come on. Forget about it, Disney. Google's been, again, another very, very top name. Look at this. Look at this Google short, right? I mean, that was fantastic right there. KSS we're actually up on, so that's going to be 5 for 5. Palantir makes it 6 for 6 today. Rivian is an L. And that's a small one. The SPY, so that's 6 for 7, 7 for 8 here with the SPY. We should have probably reshorted right there. Tesla's going to go out, so that's 7 for 9. That was a quick out. We probably should have got some money back. Maybe we will. And then Uber makes it 8 for 10. So 10 names today, batting 80%. And whether or not it's trading or any sport, pretty much. I mean, even from a free throw line. I mean, I know Fahad shoots probably 98%.
92.5.
You know, that's pretty good. So we'll go 8 for 10 today, and you know, most of them have been on the long. So there it is. It's a pretty good day. We'll see if we can hold these highs. I probably won't get into too many more trades as we prepare for the after show.
Yeah, I wanted to give credit to who mentioned this on. I just saw, and I think it was when Frank was on, about SMH and the double top, and I didn't see who it was. I did ask in the chat to give you credit, but this is obviously worth monitoring. I've said what my thoughts on how everything has been going ham in the chip space, and then you wait until NVIDIA is going to have all kinds of trouble trying to push us through. And we're not even waiting for that. If you saw what happened today, we're not even waiting for it on things like Micron got to a big top and reversed, AMD got to a big top and reversed. And this looks like a pretty decent level. It's a huge level on the daily. Doesn't look quite as dramatic on the weekly chart, I can tell you that. Just one quick update. I did get Gurov VWAP. It came back into 19s. Again, giving it to 10s, so it's 5 cents with slippage, 4 cents, 5 cents, the 5th cent. If 10 breaks, I'm getting 9s, let's be real. So 1-to-1 is going to be up at 19. And then the local high, I'm going to get some out. I want this breaking into at least 125. It breaks out the top. Lucid starting to make a move back into the upside. Tesla went, by the way. Oh no, I got rid of this wick and it's back. Okay, so Tesla off of VWAP. It did decide to make a jaunt to the upside. didn't quite get to the morning high, which is in here, 186.5. So there's still some time for a potential run back into the high if it can get itself up to VWAP. But I was also looking, it was Apple that looks the most interesting off of any kind of VWAP trade. It's just hugging VWAP right now, 188.25 on my chart, with this local bottom here, 188.30. So for a scalp trade going into 350, I mean, it's a tight range here on Apple, but Tesla VWAP is come and gone. I'm hunting for things that are like bounces in either direction off of VWAP right now, just for some trades into 330 here. And the first two that came to mind were Tesla and Apple.
Oh, yeah. That was another thing. I see someone talking about Coinbase right there real quick. First of all, Disney, nicely done, retracing right back. Oh, quickly before we go over there. Palantir, we got something out at 22.05. We now have like, is it like 10, a little bit, like 12, not even 12%, no, 12%, the other way around. Like 8% left of our Palantir trade right now, so very, very small amounts left, maybe 7% on our Palantir trade left. So that's another one, another good one there for that. Let's check out KSS. Someone's talking about it. Yeah, man. So we got out there on that dip, but again, already a positive name. Take 40 cents, lose 20 cents. So that's KSS right there. We'll see if that's doing it. I wouldn't say it's a long, but I mean, you could play it off 27 for those of you asking. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Considering a possible buyout there. We do have Enphase tonight, so join me tonight on the recap show and we'll go over all these trades. Enphase has been a really funny name, man. It got up there to 140. It went down to 70 or so. Yeah, there it is right there. And then right up to, come on, Sean, you knew that. You called the bottom and the top right there. The 70 right there doubled up back into 140 and now comes back in. We'll wait to see what Enphase is talking about. Obviously, their forward look is going to be very, very key there as they battle the rate problem with not too many people not looking, excited about being able to refinance.
It's expensive, man.
Solar panels, yeah, on your roof there. So.
I don't know if you've considered it, but
no.
I know we're not at that point, but I know
my energy bill's like $100 a month. It's not even like
I have not family, not my family, but I have in-laws in the family that have kind of looked into it, and a lot of people will say the same thing. They're like, it's not quite cheap enough. You want to make sure that you're getting help from the government and that kind of thing. So that's been a struggle for Enphase, and with rates where they are, people got other fish to fry. Oh, the market it's at this top. Really should be thinking. I know we always say this a lot. When you get the NASDAQ coming into a resistance level, like, why am I not looking for a short? Something to look for the short in. And my first thought was Affirm, but I don't know if that's the one, that's the fish to fry. Microsoft, if anything, this is at VWAP in the other direction. Sorry about these wicks in the chart. Sometimes they're there. I went to put in some of the filters. That didn't really help, but I know your charts are fine. But Microsoft, trust me, it's at, like, VWAP is right here at 404.5. That's really difficult to see, guys. But it's a relatively weak name. It's flat exactly with the market, but underneath VWAP is another jam. As we get close to 330 when these imbalances come in, I got out of Palantir with the idea that if it got back to that 52-week high breakout level, I'd look for a dip off of that level. So 2185 could be coming into play here on Palantir. If it shows any kind of bounce off of that, I canceled my 80 stop. Maybe get that in there again. If it bounces off that 2185, I'm just going to put the stop back in. It's looking for a long off that 52-week high. It was previous resistance. It broke a double top. Let's see if he can bounce off that same level.
All right, here comes Palantir right back in. So again, man, damage done. And now, I didn't even notice the 50 period changed so rapidly there. All right, let's just get out if it breaks this level, because that way we won't have a loser on board. All right, so it's 2180. I mean, we'll never have a loser. We have such a small piece left. But breaking back below 80s, let's just get out. I mean, the least amount of profit we took on this was 86s to 92s. So that's be the same amount that we'll lose on this last 7%, which is kind of a joke. We should have recognized that it was right there. We did the same. I just kind of left it alone there. We did the same thing with this move here with the spiders, right? VWAP came down since where we were trading it, and we were able to get out of that trade. And as you could see, that was good because we got out there at 90s and it ripped up into the 40s, into the 60s almost again, right back there to day's high before falling in now, as you're going to see the market trying to slip down a little bit. Our out on Disney is still where it is right here. I'm going to put now a break of 85. It was actually down there at 79, so we'll go 98, 84. Let's get out of that one. I mean, this is already too. Oh, someone asked in the chat, what's up, Dan? Was it Danny? Asked in the chat there if there's any news on Disney. Not that I know of, but we can look at it together. I just playing it off. I just played it off the bottom this morning. Yeah, I didn't know anything about if there was any news or anything with it. We know that they report tomorrow. Nah, man, 8 o'clock, nothing, man. Disney earnings, something about Apple, halftime report on CNBC, and then market whales, which they're probably talking, I guess, about us, and the recent bets on Disney. So yeah, no, I don't see anything there for DIS. So all I did was just trade and just be who I am and trade off of market signals. And this one was a pretty good one. Right back into day's low. Made a move, came back into day's low. We bought it once, got out. We bought it again, boom, boom, and then we're still in it. So that's why we bought Disney, and I'm just happy that it worked out. So far, so good here on Disney. Elon tweeted, oh, if I want to join the, oh, Elon tweeted, please let us know if you'd like to join the lawsuit against Disney. Yeah, so I don't know. Is Disney out? No, it's in the chat. Bears vs. Bulls put something there.
I thought
I don't see that on Benzinga, but I mean, to me, it doesn't really.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't really matter. We're not in it too heavy though. So if it comes out, we only went long. We went long with 6 cents worth of risk. We're now in the money 220 cents. So I mean, it's so far so good on that one. All we got to do is use more shares, and problem solved. Disney is aftermarket, I believe, tomorrow.
Yeah, Disney, they're reporting aftermarket for sure. But the thing about needing a catalyst, the catalyst can be stock trading at key price levels. I think that's one thing that catalyst doesn't always have to mean there's a news story to it. If it's trading a very significant price level, then, or it's got a trend that you're working with, there's all kinds of reasons you can look for a stock. You want something, a key price level, baked in news, or not baked in, non-baked in news, like something that's brand new. I'm still looking for the bounce. There's just not been much of a bid. Like, it's still very heavy on Palantir. I haven't really seen anything that suggests any kind of a curl. So that 2185 is come and gone. The 80 is come and gone. There's always 2160, maybe 2140. I'm missing some data on this chart as well. 2140 could also come into play. We'll see, but it is getting pretty heavy. What's the thing when you're taking a top break? That can definitely happen because there's a lot of, think about profit takers on this stock, on Palantir, like 20 early break and it's still at 22. Like if you were holding, it's now almost 330. You got to be thinking about taking some profits. GER just came back into VWAP. If it bounces again, I want to look to see if I can add somewhere in the teens and tighten the stop up and then just go continue with the stair step to the upside. I mean, yeah, Bob W., there's other lawsuits going on with Disney, but that's nothing new, what you're mentioning there. I'm not thinking Palantir short, but I did pay for locates on C3AI today. Oh, that's not at the highs. If Palantir rolled over, I did like the C3AI short. I did this a couple times, went 2 for 3 shorting it by watching Palantir. And
yeah,
if Palantir's
should have shorted that.
What's weird is C3AI ended up breaking out its high before Palantir did. When do they report? What's going on here? Because, February 28th, never mind. I was going to say, if these guys were close, if they were this week, that would be spicy. Because if like on the heels of Palantir going 30%, it did a crazy move, I think this would have been a wait for it short moment. But AI doesn't report for a while. So if it gets back up to the highs, this double top, and Palantir's not making fresh highs, I'd look for the short. I'd pay for the locates, but I'm not doing it down here. Right now, you're risking 40 cents, and VWAP is 35 cents away. That doesn't fly, not for me. So we'll stick with GER on the reload, and Lucid, I mean, that's just sort of hanging out 4 cents in the money. I want this to get to 50 at least, as we're about to get the early look on the imbalances.
Oh yeah, 328
330
right now.
already.
Okay, yeah, 330 coming through for those imbalances. With Ford reporting tonight, let's go have a quick look here for Ford. Again, a stock that, we're long. We've been long this name for a while. was debating just getting out of it, but let's see what these earnings come through today. I mean, you know, Ford's going to be looking for a break of obviously of 1250. I mean, we like to get up to 1270. Let me just see what the old earnings calendar here says for, that's Disney. Well, I was already a day ahead of myself right there. Where's Ford? FFF, here it is. 6.9% implied move right there for Ford. That could happen. Obviously, that would be nice. So they are taking that last. I can't keep putting that over here. Last report there was 3%, as you can see. Right there, 3%. Anyways, who cares? It's 3% in Ford. Screw this website, anyways. Right there. Okay, so 3% last time for Ford. Looking for 6. So if you do get 6% on this name, then yeah. $12. I mean, you know, add 6% to that, it gets into this area that we're talking about, 1260, 1280, something like that for Ford. We'll see if it can break a little bit higher. We're waiting to hear about, what is it, Ford Blue is there, original Ford, so we know the combustible engines are good. Then there's either Ford Green or maybe it's Ford Blue. That is, that's the EV space. So we'll see if the F-150s are being able to keep in stock, what's going on with all of those, and then what their plan is moving forward. We saw GM recently have a nice move to the upside, and Ford helped it as well. GM was up from $32, I believe, to 37, or yeah, there it is right there. So whatever this was, 35 up into 40 basically, and then a fail down there at 40. So watch out now for Ford to maybe do something similar. Nice base all over the place, and then we will see what happens with Ford. So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting report tonight, and we'll see. It's Jim Farley, I believe, over there right now. We'll see if he could turn that around. He's been there for a minute. Ford, nice move up from that bottom, but we don't want to take 1150 where the 50-period moving average is.
I am considering covering some Ford in my personal account. I don't know that I'll do it off these earnings, but I'm thinking about where I want to do it. A fresh low here for NYCB as this continues to, this regional bank continues to flush to the downside. At some point, oh, whoops, let me just fix this. I forgot my chart crash, so boom, I want to go to the daily chart here. You're making fresh lows. I'm not saying today, I'm not saying tomorrow, but at some point, we've seen this when a regional does this, where it tends to be at an even dollar level. Probably not today, the way this is going. But if you see like $3, $2 on this in the next couple of days, there's going to be a shot long for me at some point. It's one of those bounce plays. Ideally, you get that off of halts. But the way this is stair-stepping out, it hasn't really, it tried to make a bottom at 550. It's making some fresh lows, maybe $2, maybe $3.
That's
So
Laura.
we'll see that one tomorrow. It's been absolutely wild and just continuing to flush. I just want to note that. I haven't seen the early look on the imbalances. I don't know if anyone's posted it for us here, but I haven't seen it just yet. So you guys let me know. I did do the VWAP add and tighten stop on GER, so I just got 14s. Bought right at VWAP, but I'm tightening up the stop. Maybe it's not going to go again, and I don't want to hold it all the way back to like previous support levels. I'm just going to give it to underneath 12. Now there's some buyers at 11 and 12. If they break those, I'm just going to be out. And Lucid's not really moving that much. NYCB might be going bankrupt, but like when we're not talking about investing. I'm not talking about investing in it. I'm talking about tomorrow or one day it makes a flush, big bid at $3, go long 305 or something and get out at 98 and then get in and out of that stock in the next 15 minutes or an hour or something like that. I'm not talking about investing in it. Just looking for a bounce play. I remember the bounce that happened in a couple of, I don't remember if it was first, or it doesn't really matter which one it was, but the bounces have been prolific. Even when you have a bankruptcy type situation, you can still get trades off the lows. Anyone remembers Revlon? It was almost better to the long side after they were declaring. So I think you can see something like that. When it's down 25%, it's also going to be short sell restricted tomorrow, which means you cannot hit the bid to engage a short unless the last print is green. Makes it a little bit easier for relief rallies when that's the case.
All right. the market's starting to really make a move down here. So those of you that called some kind of a short in this market are definitely right. I have crazy FOMO because we had just talked about the SPY up here and possibly getting that short, and then the market puked all over itself. So congratulations again. Spin the money for anybody that hit that short. We should be blessed. We should be short as well, but we're still long Disney looking to get out of that. So let's try to find something that we could possibly short that's not the market. Let's go over to a name that we've destroyed short over the last couple months, well, since its report, which is a couple weeks. Intel, again, huge move to the downside. We've been shorting it even before the earnings report, up there when you get to a key level like 50. All right, so you're starting to break down a little bit. It's not down nearly what the market's down, right? Market's down 50. This is only down half, so half of that. So maybe we'll pick on something else. Let me go over on AMD quickly. I know this one's down 3, I believe, if not a little bit more, down 4 now for AMD. I don't know why I'm so surprised by that, but I am. Down 4%. Ooh-wee. I mean, that off of VWAP, come on. Probably should have been taken there. We've been sleeping on that one. Resting on our trades here this afternoon, as we said. Yeah, but it's just,
I should have had.
like I said, it's, yeah, the market, I mean, I don't know. I've been so confident about shorts that we should still be in them. So that's okay. Like I said, we're already doing the dance here today. So it's a pretty good one. But that AMD at 168, I gotta say I like that one. Is NVIDIA also following suit with all these names? No. NVIDIA actually just at VWAP rate now. So this is a nice drop of $6 in about 10 minutes there. A very aggressive move down right now for NVIDIA. Micron, we'll check that out. Maybe we'll short the SMH here. Micron breaking below as well. SMH, we've traded that a lot recently on the show, the last couple weeks anyways. SMH, yeah, there it is, 193. This might be a little bit better. So 193 top. If we can get like a pushback to 192.30, that's a good possibility there. Or I would really like the 50 period. 192.65. Let's maybe try that, 192.65 if we push back there on this up until 193. All right, so an SMH back up there, 192.65 or so. Decent if we get a chance.
Yeah, I'm actually looking back at Microsoft, and it's not really moving enough. Someone just mentioned Meta to me, short Meta. I don't know, Meta's at the support level I like. This is not, I don't know if I want to buy it at this time of day. Don't really love that setup on weakness, but I also don't want to punch short exactly where this thing bounced when we had it this morning. Softy is still hugging VWAP. I fixed it. Okay, good. It's still hugging that VWAP, but look at that pullback. Like the market pulled back 40 points on the NASDAQ, and that VWAP retrace was 35 cents on a $400 stock. Seriously? Yeah, so that's a no-go. I think that's, to me, like maybe Microsoft goes from here, but come on, like that's not doing anything. Micron is just as bad as any other chip name right now. So I think, as you were just sort of saying, we were pointing out this in the middle of the day, like wow, Micron. You got to be looking at this as part of the chip group to trade instead of always just AMD and Intel. But I like this break that it just took of 84. Because it was a local it was a local support level that just went. You're still in the 80s, so even a small pop gets you right back into that 84, which gives you some tight stops to work with. So Gur and Lucid, they're just like cheap stocks that are kind of grinding higher, not really caring what the market's doing for now. But I do like this Micron. I'm backing away from Microsoft because like this just went 50 cents in the time that Microsoft went 40, and Microsoft is 5 times the price.
Sox S. I mean, Sox S is a good one. I'd rather go Sox L and just trade the long, and then just short the long. Like, you guys have seen me trade TQQ before and versus SQQ. We don't have any problems with Boros here, so I would just rather short this. This is a 3 times bull, so it'll drop down here pretty quickly as well. But honestly, just to let you, we don't ever really talk about how much money we can throw into the market, but like the price I've already told you, it doesn't matter for me what the price is. That's why I trade the SP. Like, I mean, why am I even trading the SPY or the Qs or anything like that when I could trade SDS or some of these other products that are much, much less in price? Because I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'm even trading the Qs, right? There's a lot of products that you can trade that are less than $400. For me, I actually prefer the movement. I think it's fantastic to be able to, you know, if you take whatever, couple hundred shares up here and it drops back in, it's like, wow, okay, you know, this got real spicy real quick. So that's for me, and it goes spicy the other way too, right? You could definitely lose on that. All right, here's a name that's kind of setting up here that just hit on this on the scanner. It's shout out to Canada again. It's Shopify, and they are hitting right here. If you look over here on the 20-minute chart, they're trying to break. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit here. So here it is right here, coming into the 200 period right here on the 20-minute chart. So again, down today. I would say if we can possibly bounce up there off of 81, then maybe you get an 81.30 or something like that. But for right now, it's Shopify, and it's on my radar as we touch $81. That could, see, there it is right there as well, on for our 1-minute chart. So Shopify could definitely be a trade in and around here right now, $80, $81 for Shopify, possibly seeing that, what's going on there. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, and part of the reason why is, unfortunately, this is gonna look brutal on Alibaba as it just continues to go up. But you know what, man? You can always look back and say, why did I get out? Why did I get out? But at the end of the day, it broke, so I know why, but there it is. I'm just super happy. We recently bought this in our account at 72. Now it's at 78. This is almost, it's like 8-9% there in 2 days. So Alibaba really going. Plus we got earnings tomorrow, so we should have held in it. But like I said, we were short the market bias, and Alibaba broke. But there it is, man. Congratulations, anybody hold on to that one. It's another sticky note trade. Again, man, off those longs. So good job holding it if you got it. Bad job by me. But thank you to Agilcan Tunser there. Sean is so funny. Tell that to my kids.
This is the example of why sometimes in the afternoon it can be good to have things that don't care what the market's doing. Could be an ADR, it could just be like a low float runner, it could be a squeeze name, because the market just rolled over and Baba just took out the top. So it's an earnings play. It's just sometimes I'll be looking for those types of things when I feel like the market can't push through the top. Okay, well, what's trying to break? So GUR is a small cap making a move. It just, maybe AMC is moving. I have no idea if it is. It's just an example. But Alibaba, I wish I had held that too. Like I'm not talking about the personal account. I'm talking about the long from this morning, because at that 78 level felt inevitable. Somebody, when it was at 76.5 on Alibaba, somebody was already sitting for 100,000 waiting at 78. I bet you they got their fill today. There's no big names on the early look for the imbalances. I still didn't. Oh, there it is. The early look is 174 million sell side. I don't know why it took so long to come out there. Usually comes out at 330, but that's pretty small. No one cares about MFC. CCL is almost $1 million to buy. That's been decent. Palantir there are some days that we might care about. Like that's the morning. That was none of it balanced. Palantir, if it shows up at 350, it would have to be millions of shares, and I'm talking like not even one or two, for us to care about it when it's done 393 million. So not much to look for on the imbalance locator. Like I said, Lucid's grinding higher, but because it's 342, I've just been getting on the offer at every single cent that it goes up, because it's up 8% and it's not exactly flying any higher. Ponzi, we just showed them there. Probably a bit of a delay. Refresh your YouTube if you didn't get it. But the overall imbalances are 174 and nothing big on the individuals. I'm gonna get out of this GUR because it is not bouncing the second time. It's annoying that there is a GRR. It just got to 18s. I was waiting at 19s like last time. I'm just going to pop on the offer here and get what we can get on GR to the R. And I said Microsoft.
Budweiser popping on news here.
Bud? Go to Sean.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's just, I was telling you it's popping. I don't know what's happening right now, but we are getting some nice volume coming through in Bud. So it's a New York stock. We'll see what happens now. But there goes Budweiser. Nice move to the upside. I got to give a shout out to Matt here today because Matt. No, I don't see the news either.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just saw it there. I'm going to give credit to Matt for this one. So like I've started investing in stocks, right? Vegetable, beef, and chicken. And one day I hope to be a billionaire.
That's a good. I like that. I like that one.
All right, thanks, Matt. All right, over to the desk and let's deal with some business. Maybe we can get from Campbell Soup or something.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, I'll say appreciate it to Matt in the chat because I saw he was in there. He sent it to me this morning and I was going to use it, but he wasn't in the chat. So I messaged him back there. A billionaire there. So yeah, I'm hoping the vegetable stock really takes off.
Wait a second.
Bud could be going. I mean, just because a Super Bowl.
I mean, there's a few things it could be. Like maybe there was an ad released or
That's
something.
what I was going to say. Maybe there's something there.
Because nothing's on the wire, that's all. Like it's just nothing's hit the wire yet. If you guys see something.
Oh, I see what you did there with the wire.
Jules is saying it's a Super Bowl commercial, which makes a lot of sense. You know you're going to get some hot fire this week. We'll have some fun with it. We have some time, whatever. It's only Tuesday, so we have time to figure out what we want.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't care. Like my team's out of it, your team's out of it.
I really think Kansas City's going to win. That's the problem. Because
but what's the line? It's probably got to be even.
So San Fran, they were favored by 2.5. I don't know. San Francisco's actually favored.
Oh, I thought it'd be.
It's just I really think that there's like, Patrick Mahomes has never not been in the AFC Championship game.
He's kind of good.
And it's just like
he's good.
Yeah, I just feel.
I don't have to like it.
I do want to have a bet, and I do think San Francisco's a better team. It's just like betting against the best player in the world.
But is their quarterback better?
Right.
Nothing against you, Brock Purdy, but you're not Patrick Mahomes.
He's literally the best quarterback in the world, and he might be. He might overtake the GOAT at one point. Check the chat for what? For something else. Okay.
I thought we said it was Trump endorsing Bud. Oh, is that what it is?
Oh, Brendan's
for real?
messaged it in chat there.
Where?
Tweet suggesting Trump endorsing Bud. Maybe he meant to be like, yo, what's up, Bud? Like he talked about like his friends,
His best buds.
Endorsing Budweiser. So good. So whenever I think about that, let me just go over to DWAC right now. Maybe DWAC being bought out by, wow, this is $45? What the hell? Like sleeping on DWAC, man.
Remember on day 2? It was day 2 or 3, something like that. And it was in the middle of the day at lunchtime, and we're pulling up the daily chart of DWAC, and there was this crazy wick to like 26 or something. Your daily chart would have had it too. It's like, well, I mean, if it breaks this, maybe there's something to it. And I've never played this in my long-term account, so
maybe herbal Bud. That's funny.
But, that's not enough to trade on this in the afternoon. Ooh, Micron just came in.
I actually do think that President Trump is dry. I don't think he drinks, actually. I saw someone put that in the chat. I think that's actually true.
No, I
think.
That sounds right.
But that doesn't matter. I mean, a deal is a deal, and if he is going to become if you're in the United States, next president, then yeah, if he likes to endorse Budweiser, I could see that to the upside there.
Official beer sponsor of my Toronto Blue Jays.
And now apparently of the Republican Party. So yeah, so far so good there. We'll wait. I know, I'm just joking.
It's the irony, of course, Canada's baseball team, and it's like Budweiser everywhere, like not even a
oh yeah, that's
not
right.
even a Canadian beer.
Owned by Rogers, though. I'm surprised that.
It is. I've always found that strange.
Oh, Trump was bashing Bud a couple days ago. Maybe they made up. Yeah, Trump doesn't drink. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. But Bud had some of those. I guess.
I used to love those ads, but I don't think they do those anymore. Remember they had like the horses kicking field goals.
Yep.
And then there was that. Was it bruh? Not bruh. What was it, dude? No, they had some sayings when we were actually kids.
No, we were in high school.
High school, yeah, kids. I think.
I guess we were kids. Yeah, that's true.
What was it? What was that Bud stuff, guys? blah or something.
What's
like that. What's up? That's what
That's
it was.
what it
Oh,
was.
people in the chat there knows. Yeah, what's up? And they used to do all that kind of stuff. That's back in the heyday, man. Like now, I don't know. Here in Canada, we suck
Heyday.
for media. Okay, because you gotta you can't even watch U.S. commercials because they all get blocked by our. In here, it's called the CRTC, where you got to show Canadian content. So you'll see about like. I think it's about 1,200 Canadian Tire commercials, and then I think it's about 400 Tim Hortons commercials. And other than that, man, you will see no other commercials other than that.
Thank goodness for YouTube, because I get to watch.
That's
all
what I
the
mean.
commercials.
So watching it on YouTube or using a proxy.
Well,
or
I
something.
watched the Super Bowl on DAZN, the Zone. So
Right. So
I
that
actually
probably has U.S. commercials.
I'm assuming it. I don't
Maybe.
really watch. When I watch football on DAZN, I don't really pay attention to the commercials. My daughter loves them, but I'll be checking them out. I get a lot of the Jamie Foxx Bet 365 stuff, so I'm assuming that's obviously.
Oh, he is saying. So I have the story right here.
Yeah, if you have.
Yeah,
it,
yeah. Well, it's on Benzinga right now, finally. All right, so here it is right here. President Trump on True Social says it's a great American brand that perhaps deserves a second chance.
Oh, he's hedging himself there.
So not only do you have one chance, but according to President Trump, Budweiser now has a second chance. So, yeah. All right. Well, hey, I feel honestly pretty idiotic for a lot of reasons, but honestly, the biggest one is the fact that we all knew about DWAC, we all knew about Rumble, we all knew about Funware, we all knew that President Trump was going to represent the the Republican Party, and you had so many opportunities to understand that this is what was potentially going to happen, because hell, it happened already to DWAC during that presidential run. So we can scroll back as far as we want. It doesn't matter. I don't think that you're going to use any past levels to be decisive entry points or exit points for future. I would just say you're getting near 50. That looks like a decent top. The highest we got to is 57 or 60, but there it goes right there back up to the upside. And yeah, wow. Good movement upside there for President Trump and whoever is invested in Budweiser right there as well. So congrats on that. There goes Budweiser, huge move up. It's about $1. It's 3%. Shouldn't say huge, but there it goes. We got the story for you. It is exactly what you thought it was. President Trump on an endorsement.
Yeah, there you go. And it's almost never going to
Oh,
be
it's
nothing.
350. What the hell?
The imbalances did drop. The overall number is that right? 65 million to sell?
Probably.
That's the smallest number I've seen in a while for that imbalance. I guess we've seen smaller. Nothing
nice.
stands out except for Manulife. I mean, no one cares about Manulife. There's some penny stocks got $1 million, but nothing really standing out. Palantir. Remember I said Palantir, it's 900,000. That needs to be millions and millions for it to affect Palantir stock today. No question about it, and that's not what you're getting. So I think there's nothing exciting on the imbalances. CCL's 850,000. That's not bad. Really, that's probably the biggest one. So no big names. And when you have 65 million to sell overall, you know none of the big names are doing anything. That pretty much goes without saying.
Apparently, Trump already bankrupted a vodka brand. I know that it's going to be very, very polarizing whenever we're talking about that individual. So I'm not. We're just talking about it in the context.
What are you going to do?
The
The stock moved.
I don't know if he bankrupted a vodka company or not. I mean, it's crazy. But anyways,
I think vodka's
that's
overrated.
just a fun story. And
Rum, bourbon, gin.
yeah, 99.20. We're going to end the day here on Disney with an absolute monster. So let's just put the offer out. It doesn't really matter what happens. Oopsies. What happens now on Disney? What am I doing? I still have the chart blown up there. It's a nice move to the upside here. We'll see. Cancel a couple of stop orders. Make sure that we get an out for that. I did actually before, so I'm offering right now. If it gets filled, it gets filled. I actually was looking at a 120 short for Coinbase, but I got distracted there. It's probably a good thing. It went up to 120.20. We would have not gotten out there, but you see, it was against this top. So it's actually a bad thing that we didn't take it because it failed up there and then went down $1. But I want to look at that maybe tomorrow for Coinbase in and around 120. But we are making a mental note that Bitcoin is, we got out of Disney there. It's actually higher now. So as we watch out for Bitcoin tomorrow, so I just want to put it in there, 43.4. 43.1, sorry, is where we are now. I think the highest we got was 43.4 today. So we'll watch out for Bitcoin and a possible move there on that one as well, man. Great day today. Join me for the aftermarket where we'll talk about all of the earnings plays, including Snapchat, Ford, Chipotle, which I think should be the next one to split, as well as NVIDIA. So we'll hold out hope that something like that is good right now. So PLTR, $23 tomorrow. Yeah, I would say that's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's just a 30% move up today, Palantir.
I mean, that's a ridiculous. I mean, that 30% is obviously nuts. I'm just gonna get out of Lucid on the midpoint if I can get it. I did jam out of GUR when it broke VWAP, up like 1 cent there. We had the 14s, we got out. Lucid, sort of the same thing. Oh, I take profits out, so it's gonna say short sell there because I had orders already out. But I'm just gonna hop on a free midpoint and see if I can't get it. I'm offering 49.5. It'll be the last position of the day here. Pretty much, you know, Palantir is the story, but it's really the earnings plays that have been the story. You had Meta that did complete and utter nonsense. How have we already forgotten that Amazon went 8 or 9% on earnings? Like, it's crazy. We didn't even, like, Amazon didn't even get discussed today, I don't think, and that had a big earnings move. But Palantir, I'm not saying it's the first place you go tomorrow, but it's probably the first stock I pull up tomorrow morning, if not another one of the earnings name. We're talking Snapchat, Alibaba. It'll be an earnings name to be sure. But Palantir, 400 million shares worth of volume. You probably get at least 100 million in some continuation. And the amount of volume it did up at those highs is what's so compelling. Late buyers are confident buyers. And the fact that it was holding those highs is really good. I'm just going to jump to an Edge A. I don't know why I wasn't using that before. And just get out of Lucid, so we're out of that one. Not much else. Palantir meme stock, is it? I guess it was, some people classified it a meme stock. I don't know that I put it in that category. 5% short. The company's been around for 1,000 years. It's been around for a while. I don't know if this is a meme stock, but 30% up. It definitely had some meme flavors if you were along this one today.
Yeah, it was a good one for sure. So, all right, we will wait for that, and we'll figure out what's going on now as Palantir Kid's up to $22, and we're done, man. That Disney trade, we got out of it right here, so that turned out to be a good one. Let's see what Alibaba's doing at the end of the day. Wow, nice move upside there. I guess that long was probably pretty good from the morning. And thanks again for watching. I'm gonna head over to the other side. So. Again, thank you to everybody for once again another good show. A lot of the help from you guys pointing out some key names for us. Some fun times with KSS, some fun times with Budweiser there. Check back in on KSS right where we got out right now. So again, not too bad, and we will figure it out. So thank you so much to everybody. I'm going to hop over. Join me in 4 minutes for some earnings.
Specifically, some decent, I mean, Snapchat should be a bit of a mover. We do expect it. Nothing's going to do what Palantir did, I want to say, in terms of percentage and volume. That would be a heck of a lot. But don't sleep on these guys. SMC, how many chip stocks have we looked at today that are near the lows of the day? Most of the ones we checked out. SMCI, day high, 2.5. And there was a question in the chat. Someone said, well, if buying power for day traders, prop traders, specifically isn't an issue, why don't you trade SMCI? My issue with it was the 2 times that I traded it, the spread was wild. And when I was going through and evaluating the trade, and it was a winning trade, I was like, yeah, but if it lost, the risk reward was not what I thought it was when looking at the way that it trades the spread. When it broke levels, the spread, which can be, like, it just went from, like, just now when it broke 680, the spread went from like 15 cents to 50 instantly. At the open, that is like 2 to 3x at times. It's a little better now, but it is very different from trading NVIDIA, which is at the same price point. I go the same thing with the Eli Lilly. It's just one of those types of things, but super strong mover. It just continues to run and run and run. And it is 9%, like it's 9% short float. And I can only imagine in this run, so check that. I just got an update, so here it is. Trade Ideas, I pulled it up. When I looked 2 days ago, this estimate was 9%. Now it's 10.8, which kind of jives with what I was about to say next. And that's, I guarantee you there's some new people trying to bet against this bad boy. And I bet you there's funds loading into shorts on this in front of NVIDIA earnings. That could be spicy, although I tend to think NVIDIA could have a bit of a turn on its own. What is Apple doing? Apple breaking out as the NASDAQ is going. There was no imbalances. See, this was sort of deceiving. Like the imbalance was essentially nothing, and you're going to get moves to the upside anyways. Apple off of VWAP. Oh yeah, Apple VWAP. Yeah, I probably should look at that. Anyways, doesn't matter. Apple breaking out off of VWAP. We'll zoom in so you can see. There's only 2 minutes to go. I will not put any new positions on, but you're bouncing about $1. That's not anything crazy at this point. Not a bad move for Apple. It is relatively strong. Let's try to remember with Apple, you have bounced off 180 again. You've held the 200 period moving average. The last time it did this, we saw 195. So why not? Like Apple is stair-stepping it up. Maybe we get a break of this top here, 189.25 or 30, I think has been that local high. But look at the bottom at 180. You've got the continuation. We actually talked about this at Real Deal lunchtime a couple of days ago. Look for those continuation plays. When you get a wipeout bottom and you get the higher low, try to respect those support levels when it stair steps to the upside. That's a wipeout bottom and a great level off that 180 on Apple. It's going to close obviously better than the market because the NASDAQ is red, and this is clearly almost 1% to the upside. So I like this to make another challenge back into that 195. Should be looking for a long there. That's the one. Thank you, BBot 5000. I know there was a name that I was forgetting. It was in terms of earnings, and it was Roblox. Oh, Roblox is going to be spicy. Look at the dump, and then look at the top that could get broken out on earnings at this 41 level. That's a spicy meatball. Nice tight range, which I prefer. Could break out the 50. I've got marked off the 42 level just because that was a significant area of consolidation, but I do like that one. Roblox, definitely on the list. You can't stay away from earnings names when they're going to give you the extra volume and they're going to be special. I think Roblox is that kind of a name. It's more in the Palantir than it is in the Meta and Amazon, where sometimes we don't trade those on earnings. But we only got 20 seconds to go in the market, but there's still more aftermarket. You've got a host of earnings. We talk about Ford. We'll talk about some Roblox. Tomorrow morning you get Alibaba. Snapchat being the big one. But the countdown is on. Get the camera off me. Pop it to Adara because we're ringing it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it. Casino closed. We got a bunch in the aftermarket that's going to be reporting. We'll see. I don't know. I think Snapchat is like 405, 410. But I'm seeing some action on it. I don't know if it's out just yet, but it is making a little bit of a move. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin. Ramin is back in the house and feeling better. We're glad to have you back there. Great midday as always with Sharif and Adara, the beard man, the professor, and Adara doing a great job as always. Want to shout out to Frank, and thank you, Frank, for popping through, doing a great job on that interview as always with Brendan. But I see a lot of volume on Snapchat here. So let's, you know where you got to go. It's a market recap show. They may be out. Snapchat is moving around quite a bit here. Let's get to the desk with Sean.
All right, welcome everybody. We'll call up some Snapchat coming up for you guys very, very soon. We are brought to you by the Benzinga platform, so anything that's moving around, we will have that. Welcome. We do have sector recaps. We got some big earnings. We've got Ford. We've got Chipotle. We're ready to rock and roll. I just got off the phone with the wife. They're en route. Maybe you will see my kids later on during the show. Snapchat up to 1850. Nice little move there. But I'm guessing it's not out. We are checking out for the Benzinga platform, man. Anything that hits right now, we'll get it. Serious Logic is now out with a nice beat. For example, 289. So at CRUS, we could check out that one. Again, another name that some people may own. Nice move up. $84 for Sirius, taking out right now this little high of $85. It's out, it's serious, and it is fantastic, I guess. We'll wait for more to come through, though. Of course, we have that Budweiser news that just hit, and we will watch for Benzinga. We also do have trade ideas on here right now. We'll refresh it. Let's go. Let's get it going, guys. We'll start to refresh. I don't know why this isn't working, but we'll get that going. Anything that pops in here immediately will show up for a move. So right now, CRUS. We do have Ford on watch. We do have Snapchat on watch. I don't have the thing in my ear, which sometimes I do have, as we've been having that. But wow, what a day it was today. Needless to say, man, we had a big monster move. And we're still kind of on cloud nine, man. I mean, we had a great day with Palantir today. I'll put this in. Still be a 1 minute chart. Maybe I can zoom this back out a little bit. But what a day it was. We actually had this bottom at 1980, sorry, on Palantir. Huge move up and just climbed the rest of the day. Nice little drop off 22 there, but then ending the day pretty strong at 21.75. It's a congratulations kind of a day. Mr. Karp and friends over at Palantir. We always talk about this name on the show. And I actually tweeted out about Palantir here today. We are going to hopefully have Brian Shannon come through at some point here, about 4:15. We'll talk about that. But look at these Palantir earnings, man. Beat revenue, beat estimates, beat by the guide, beat the EBITDA, beat the 3 cents gap, beat the gap on GPM estimate by 40 basis points, met annual revenue estimates, beat annual EBIT as well. Palantir, man, the numbers are in the pudding right now. Nice growth numbers. Everything is rocking and rolling for Palantir, and now we think about a possible inclusion into the S&P 500. So, yeah, man, really, really excited. Thank you so much for joining us. That's Palantir right now, just 31% up today. Can Snapchat repeat that performance? SNPA, wrong symbol. Snapchat, it's not out yet. We'll wait for that. Who's here joining us? How many people do we have? Let me double check right now. Over 4,000 right now. Thank you so much again for joining. My wife is en route. She will not be in the chat, but you guys are. So a big shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. We're going to have earnings. What's up to Toilet Brush? Looney, John Womack is here. Enphase. All right, let's go check out Enphase. Everyone's here. Andrew, Elon's all here. What's up, Mr. Musk? All right, ENPH. Is Enphase out? No, not out yet. Look, as soon as it hits on Benzinga, we'll have it for you. It looks like Gilead Sciences is now out. Looks like a potential miss for GILD. Yes, there it is to the downside, $75. Again, I never really understood this name. This is one of the names that came out and said that they were going to try to solve COVID real early. There it is right now, 172, 176. So a miss right there. Boeing, Max door plug that flew off Alaska Air was missing 4 key bolts. Well, thanks for that. All right, that's actually a good thing. If it was missing bolts, I actually think that's good, because just don't forget about them next time. Nothing wrong with the development of, or the design maybe of that door. We'll check in on Boeing quickly. Amgen looks like it's sleeping right now, not moving around too much there. We just had the report come through on Amgen as well. Yeah, not much going on there. Okay, there's Boeing. Let's just check out Boeing. There's the story right there. 737 MAX. If you come over to the screen, we can check out right there. So a little story there for Boeing. Let's see if it's moving around at all. We still wait for Snapchat. When and if that's out, guys, please yell at me and we'll address that right away. So Boeing right now, not moving around too much. I'm actually going to open up the chat so we can see it right now. MSTR, Enphase, Enphase, Enphase. Okay, everyone's chanting Enphase. Boom to the downside. Yes, sir. There it is, man. Enphase. You guys are all over that one. I don't see it yet, but it looks like Enphase is a miss. Down through $95. Thanks for the water there, Fabian. One day that's going to be vinegar, I'm sure of it. No. All right, nice move down, $94. We'll wait to see what those numbers are, but right now it's looking like Enphase. Possible guide to the downside. Look, we talked about rates not going too fast right now. We actually saw the TLT over the last couple of days. We had Frank Caberna on. Quite a nice move, man, from 98 down to 95. But today, TLT, if you come over to the sector recap right now, you'll see the TLT today up 1%. Hello, China, man. Good story out of China today. Possible President Xi is going to come out, talk a little bit about the market, possibly input some stimulus again into that number. Okay, we'll look at Ford in a minute. But FXI, a nice move back up. We've been talking about this for a minute, man, down to $21. All right, we'll check out Ford right now. Nice move. Oh, hell yeah. Ford right now up 10%. Wish I had the numbers. We'll get them in a minute. But right now, Ford blasting up to $13. They like this number. They like this number a lot. I don't have it from Benzinga yet. We need to get that for you. And when it does come out, there's Enphase right now. So we do have the Enphase number. Enphase right now misses. There's Ford. Enphase misses 54s versus 55. Also miss on the revs. But here's Ford. Ford beat 13 cents, 29 cents versus 13. That's a double up on the EPS, so that's nice, as well as a top line beat. Let's see what sales has to come through. I don't see that yet. MSTR. Why are they even reporting earnings? I mean, I thought they're just holding Bitcoin. But right there, sales of 124 million, a miss for MSTR. So a lot is coming out right now. I'm going to put this to the side and let's go over it. Ford, nice move up to 13. We talked about the implied move of only 6%. They doubled it up with 12. That means we carry forward tomorrow. When a number beats by, this is shout out to Miss Danielle Shea. She came to us with Meta. She said, when you beat like that, the chance for a continued move is greater. We saw that today with Palantir. Let's see if we see it with Ford. Let's go Ford. We may cash out of this. I actually like Brendan's idea, or a lot of people's ideas maybe, about buying some Rivian on the dip. Let's see, and that might be over with. Rivian's already through 15. Okay, not moving at all. I thought we might get some movement there. Is there a move in GM happening right now? Yes, there is. So the old becomes new possibly, as GM right now looking to go through 40 on a nice Ford beat. Again, let's check out MSTR. I know we normally do sector recap, but right now, man, we're just going through some earnings plays that are hitting. MSTR right now, okay, move down. We talk about Bitcoin, IBIT. You can see today Bitcoin up 1.7% if you're using the ETF. So nice movement. Again, some bottom picks down there at like 39,000 or so for Bitcoin. So we'll have to watch out to see if that continues to hold. Anybody doing their taxes these days may use H&R Block. That's a nice beat, up to 47 and change as that goes beating. Fortinet, I thought, we don't have Chris Brecher on today, but he had talked about one of the greatest calls that we've given live on this show was Pan W at 235. Pan W now is a monster. We'll address that in a minute. But look what happens to Fortinet, up 14%. What is their report saying to us? Here it is right here. Fortinet, again, a nice little move. Let's close this so we can see this a little bit better. That's Sonos. Where's Fortinet? There it is right here. Again, this platform, a little bit frustrating for me. Let's get this over. There it is. Okay, so here's the beat on Fortinet. 51 cents per share, beating the 43%. Estimate revenue, 141 versus 128. So again, a nice beat all around for Fortinet as that continues to go higher. I feel like all the stories that we need, Lumen Technologies, sometimes we trade that, an EPS of 8 cents versus minus. We can have a quick look at LUMN. But to me, I guess the stories with Ford, LUMN right now. Okay, again, a dollar name. I knew that. We were just going over this. As some of you are interested, it doesn't look like it's moving. Ford says EVs. I'm actually embarrassed to say this. EVs are here to stay. Bang, great commentary there by Ford. EVs are here to stay. Customer adoption is growing. Gee, you think? I mean, some guy named Elon Musk and Tesla are selling millions of units every year. I'd say they're here to stay as well. Long-term upside is central to Ford Plus. Okay, so remember I was like, it's Ford Blue, it's Ford Green. I guess it's Ford Plus right there. So long-term upside, I sure as hell hope so. Snapchat, with a snap, they miss. Sales right now, 136 versus 138 for Snapchat. So that's a miss. I don't have the EPS number yet. There it is. So Snapchat misses on that, but beats on the EPS. So let's have a quick look. So they beat on EPS, miss on sales. I don't know if that really matters too much. We already know it should matter for Snapchat because the thing about it is, and we'll look at the stock in a minute, Meta was monstrous on the ad side. So if Snapchat's going to miss on Snapchat and sales are growing at a snail's pace. Maybe that's more appropriate. But there's Snapchat. It's a good thing we don't have too much of this left. Snapchat getting destroyed right down to the downside. It's $14 right now. Snapchat down 15%. And honestly, I'm just guessing that's what it was there. Miss on sales, a beat on EPS. But honestly, that's a pretty destructive number down there into $14. Could have a bouncing spot there for Snapchat if we do bounce off this 1360 area. Let's pay attention to Snapchat with a nice move down. We'll wait to hear about what's going on with that report, as I'm sure they'll be talking about it. All I'm seeing here on Benzinga was Snapchat right now. Company reported quarterly sales of 1.36 billion, which missed 138 billion by only 1%. Wow, isn't that sad? You miss sales by 1%, stock gets hit 15%. Uh-oh, everybody's favorite fast food place. Am I wrong? It's Chipotle right now. EPS 1036. Geez, man, beating 975 sales beats and everything. It is Chipotle Mexican Grill. I believe that's what it stands for, right? CMG. Just a small $500 move to the upside there. So 2,500 went to 25.5 there. Wow, now back down into 25.1. It's Chipotle. Where are we on the weekly here now, man? I guess people are not worried too much about Chipotle. Remember when I forget, maybe it was this move down? I don't know what it was, man. I mean, this stock is absolutely insane. Salmonella coming through. Some of their, I think it was like 1 or 2 spots experienced that. You could see Chipotle Mexican Grill, nicely done to the upside. Wow, okay, Snapchat coming up with some more numbers right now. Their daily active users, I like that report. Daily active users increased 10%. To me, we should bounce. That's too low for Snapchat down here, but going the other way, 1330 and getting kicked right now is Snapchat. I'm not logged in yet to my platform, but 1330 goes Snapchat. Maybe if you guys bear with me for a minute, we can watch Snapchat live as I will log in. But all right, so that's Snapchat moving around. Let's check in on Ford. I am going to log in as soon as the login screen opens up. I cannot show you guys my login though. SHAWN. Oops, I started talking about it. All right, that's it. Number 1. There we go. We put in there J. All right, just joking around. My password. All right, 1295. It's a nice upside move for Ford. So we had Snapchat downside. We had Ford upside. We had Enphase downside as well. But Enphase, congratulations. Nice little move back upside right now for Enphase, hovering around. This could be a good trade tomorrow. So what's up with this? Oil with a nice move today. We had AMD. So AMD, just to go back to the market here quickly. We do have Brian Shannon on today. We could talk about maybe Ford. I'm going to ask him about Snapchat. Maybe there's an area of support that we can find on an anchored VWAP or something for Snapchat, but it's well below right now. Advanced Micro Devices today announced AMD Embedded Plus, a new solution. I don't know if they liked it or not, but AMD today, we'll go over to a 3-minute chart here. Downside for Advanced Micro Devices pretty much all day. We did get a good short off VWAP there if you had it at 168 and change, but unfortunately we don't. It's AMD. Nice downside press today. I still think we get 150, 151 or something for AMD. I mean, that's going to be an interesting level for me. We did also get a nice pushback. This is a weekly chart for NVIDIA. It's just well up, man. Not even too much of a pullback for this name. Let's go over to a daily chart for NVIDIA. They weren't even, they were down 2%. I was going to say they weren't even down today, but they were down 2. Nice move back upside. They were down a lot more. We'll see tomorrow about this 460. This is probably the right name to trade if you're looking for bigger wins, because like honestly, this move when we started cascading down is 680. It made a move all the way down to 663. NVIDIA absolutely smoked there today down to the downside. But okay, so we had Snapchat, Chipotle Mexican Grill with a nice beat today. Wow, unbelievable, man. This name closed the day at 2,500. It's up 700. Is that right? Am I right reading this? 25.70. So no, just $70, I guess, to the upside is CMG. Let me see what this looks like on our chart. CMG right now. So up $700, up $70. Chipotle Mexican Grill up a nice little level right there. Bill Ackman's favorite. This thing is gone right now. Nice move to the upside there for CMG. You guys want to talk about it? Shout out to everybody that's right here right now. Enphase missed, but it's a buy. Yeah. Look, I don't know what Enphase is doing right now. Here's Enphase live, ENPH. Let's just check out what it looks like here. Push this aside. So 102, 102.50, a nice little 50-cent spread for Enphase. Again, a downside wick to $92, an upside wick to 108. Enphase right now. We don't break down here on the show. I don't break down the earnings report, like siphon through it. Tomorrow's watch list will have details on it. We'll try to break down for you the key points of the release. And it's a nice move there for Enphase. We'll see if Benzinga's talking anything else about it. Fortinet's a monster. FTNT, here you go, FTNT. $75 from a close, up 13%. You could see right there. Fortinet was actually up a lot higher to 77. Nice push up for those guys right now. But where's Enphase? Enphase. Wow, there's Snapchat right there again. Sees Q1 revenue. Yuck. Yeah, down to 1.095 billion, between, like, nice range, guys. 1.09 to 1.13. Either way, estimates 1.12, so the lower side takes it out right there. Just scrolling for some more Enphase news. I don't see anything other than what we've read, which is right here. Quarterly adjusted earnings shares of 54 cents, which missed the analyst projection by 1 cent there, but decrease of 64% year over year. Looks like quarterly sales of 302 versus 328. So I'm seeing a miss everywhere right now with that stock. But that, of course, is Enphase as we look at Fortinet coming through. The worst today, KRE. I actually think we might have had Brian on last week when KRE really started its downside push, man. Or sorry, KRE, this is NYCB. This is New York Community Bank. Feel like they're probably getting close to liquidation, down there near $4. I mean, we had some worry spots with these guys before with Silicon Valley and First Republic, but now down through $4. Weekly chart, I mean, that's pretty nasty. So completely destructed there. And then if you're gonna look at KRE, I don't know, sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire, but you're getting a nice pushback in to $45 right here for KRE and KWeb. All right, if we're ready, we have Trader Talk. It's Brian, let's go. All right, Mr. Shannon, wow, welcome back. I mean, since we've talked to you last, we've had some big earnings reports, man, all last week, including Apple, which seems to be a little weak. We could talk a little bit about Apple, but just quickly, how was your day and how are you?
Day was good, profitable, and I'm doing well, Sean. So I was kind of surprised. I figured maybe you were, I called you out on Twitter saying it looked like maybe you were going to get involved in some of those NVIDIA plays off the VWAP today.
Yeah, you know what we were looking at? We actually had a great trade, and a good call. AMD also at 168 looked pretty nice. Did you want to talk about NVIDIA? What set up, or whatever you want to talk about? Because hey, man, I miss trades all the time. I made 10 trades today, or 10 symbols today. Lucky enough to go 8 for 10. There's no way Brian Shannon trades 10 different symbols today, does he?
I traded 5.
5, okay. So that's fine. Double the man, but half the shares. So that's Brian Shannon. Do you want to talk about maybe your best trade today? Do you mind going over maybe what you saw, or maybe not your best, but something that was interesting for the viewers here? We'll screen share whenever you're ready.
Okay, I am ready. Here we can take a look at NVIDIA.
Perfect.
Speaking of that. Originally, I had purchased this stock for a swing trade over here on this day. I missed the day that it gapped up, but as it pulled back and got back above the VWAP that day, I bought a position and scaled out of 2/3 of it and have been raising my stops up with these green arrows. Today, I was stopped out of the balance right there with a gain of $152.30 on the balance. So that was the biggest closeout for today. I've also got some of the CPRT from yesterday, and looking ahead to, bought CRISP today. And that's got a big short position in it, Sean. I don't know if you know, it's got 21.5% or 17 million shares, and they've increased that from 13 million shares in October over in here. So they've added 4 million shares. So a good way to look at that is if they added 4 million shares from October, the average price since October is right here at 61.5. So with the stock at 67, let's just call it, you've got to assume that those shorts are feeling heat from that 4 million shares they added in that point.
You just made myself and many of our viewers extremely happy, because That is an absolute great setup. That's like a flat top break. We absolutely love that. Come over to my screen one more time, Brian. Great call. Because you know what? If you look here, we had Danielle Shea on the show before, and we were talking about this top with a firm, and the reason why I go over to a firm, very similar short float. You're in the 20s, you're in the 30s. When we broke this level right there of 20 bucks, we ripped to 25. That's a 20% move or higher right there on that move. Then we had this 25 level that we were looking at. Then once we broke 25, man, did we boom up there all the way to $50. I can honestly, I got to thank you from everybody here at Trader TV Live and the Market Recap Show. This, Brian, is why traders stay late. I really like that. And their report comes February 20th. This is now on my radar. I love that break of 67 if we can get it through 70, and then that break even greater than that, man. CRISPR Therapeutics. You've been on this for a while, as far as I remember. You seem to always talk to us about some of these therapeutics and IBB type of stocks. So great look right there. But that Affirm trade gives me confidence that maybe we could see the same thing here with CRISPR.
I like it. If you look at my screen, I want to show you where Affirm just pulled back to, Sean, because it's pretty amazing. That gap that occurred that you're talking about right here, look at the anchor from that point and how we touched it here, and then bam, 4 days ago. That was the low. That's why we keep an eye on those levels of interest. Over here, I wasn't interested in buying it. I'm not trying to make that point. But it's interesting to see that that's exactly where the buyers showed up here again for this stock. And today in NVIDIA, the low occurred where? Well, if we take a look at the month-to-date volume-weighted average price, which I always talk about, look at that.
That's a great, I mean, honestly, I was about to promote your book after, but Anchored VWAP, you know what? Actually, my memory's not the greatest. I've read this book. It's absolutely fantastic. I know you've been using VWAP and Anchored VWAP for a while. Is that something that you proprietarily developed? You were looking and you were thinking, hey, what about if we put the VWAP here or there or here or there? When did you come up with that? Was that something that, obviously took you a pretty long time? Because every time you come on here, you give us so many amazing plays off the Anchored VWAP. Just maybe a quick little description of where you developed that from and where that all came from, because it's a really genius idea.
I didn't develop that. It was Paul Levine, Dr. Paul Levine.
Okay.
I had only been made aware of his work a couple of years ago when I was researching the book. But my introduction to it came kind of by accident on a platform called Realtek. Realtek I used 20 plus years ago. And they had a trend tool that was a drawing tool. And you would draw it, let's say you'd start it here and draw it straight across. Right. Well, what would happen, Sean, is that arrow would go up and that line rather would go up and down. And it was calculating the volume weighted average price as a line. Right. So I looked at that and said, okay, if I start they allowed 1 day VWAP or, from one starting point. So I noticed if I put it to a 30-minute chart and started the chart 5 days ago, I had a 5-day VWAP. So I started experimenting around like at that. And then it was in 2015 that I convinced the good people at TC2000, whose software is right here, to put it on their software, the Anchored VWAP by Alpha Trends. You can see this little arrow here on the right-hand control panel.
All right. I mean, I'm just responding now to your post about NVIDIA. Look, thank you so much for that. Sometimes we fall into our lap, and sometimes you just develop it like that, and that's an absolutely great call right there. I mean, here's the tweet from Brian tagging me, and my bad about that one, but look at that. Perfect, boom. Nice move there. And I love that you took a paltry $152 on that as well. I want to talk a little bit about this because right now the Qs, you had a little bit of a talk here. Qs is at a level of interest. The IWM remains a dog. I agree with that, man. A lot of people looking at some of these smaller cap names, right? Maybe that's it. And then you and I, and a lot of people have talked about SMH and how exactly important that is to this market. We've been really going upside here with NVIDIA, AMD. I mean, we always talk about the same names, but why not go over to ETF land? What are you seeing here? You said overall we're pretty bullish, but near term, I kind of agree with you. I was short the SPY today. It was a great trade. It started to blast up at the end of the day, but I'm starting to favor shorts, Brian, just temporarily. Are we right with that? Let's digest some of these charts.
I think that for me personally, the shorts are a little bit early. We're still above the rising 5-day moving average on the SPY, on the Qs, and in the SMH. I had pointed out on this SMH chart today that a lot of people are looking at this and saying, hey, the semis are making a double top. A double top, you see, this is just a level where we've been previously. A double top isn't complete, according to a textbook example, until it breaks below this level right here. And then we take the height of that, which is just to call it 196 down to 185. So we'll call that 11 points. If it comes down here and breaks that, well, then your downside target would be 11 points lower. I personally am not really too interested in that time frame. If instead we took a look at, here's where we are in the intermediate term, we're right smack in the middle of that range. We're at the anchored volume weighted average price from the Fed. That's that purple line. We're above the rising 5-day moving average. We're just kind of digesting a little bit. It's way too early to call it a double top. If we start to break down further and we get trapped below a 5-day moving average, I'll change my mind. But for right now, we're just digesting gains through time so far.
So we've talked about, for you, Brian, how important that 5-day moving average is. You've gone over that a couple times, and I've actually put it on my chart now, so thanks for that. We really, really like that. All right, one more before I let you go. We haven't discussed this, so I'm going to catch you off guard a little bit. Tesla. I mean, I know you don't like the name. I've seen your tweets. It's not the greatest. It's been one of the weakest. There's talk about booting it out, or if the Mag 7 is Kramer's, it's already out. It's not performing like the rest of them. People are trying to catch this falling knife. Why? Because it's an AI play. People like Elon Musk. He's made people a lot of money. But you get some pundit, you get Cathie Wood, you get some of these people just calling for the moon in this stock. Let's bring this back down to life a little bit here. If you come over to my charts, we had earnings right here. We slipped up from that. We lost the $200 level. We lost the 50. We lost the 200 a long time ago. And honestly, if people are thinking that it's going to hold this 160, hey, maybe it does. That's still a decent move down. But if we don't, then I just wonder about all the longs are trapped down here into a name that hasn't been loved. What can you say to me about Tesla here and trying to buy some of these dips? Is it not time yet?
Sean, first off, I want to talk about Cathie Wood. I saw the best article yesterday. It called her the worst destroyer of wealth. And
I saw that. I think I like that
good
post.
To finally see some truth. That lady has gotten a pass. She is destroyed, and this is from Morningstar. She's destroyed in the ARK fund $7 billion. Don't accept it unless you're.
I did not. I'd put it out. I did not.
$8 billion has evaporated just in her one ARK fund.
Wow.
$13 billion in her family of funds. Her track record's pathetic. So it really bothers me when people hold her up on this pedestal.
But Brian, remember, man,
Cathie says it's this and that.
She still gets to collect all those management fees,
Exactly. And you know what? It's criminal, honestly. It seems criminal to me. If she just had a little bit of risk management and used an anchored VWAP or a couple moving averages, her results would be a lot better. Anyways, I digress there, Sean.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. What about Tesla here? Is there anything that you're seeing? You're going to talk about the 5-day moving average.
Tesla is right at its declining 5-day moving average. And, we had a pretty good gap low last week, week and a half ago. And that gap low, what we often see is, those initial buyers come in, they feel confident, and then they set their stop underneath that low. And inevitably, we come down and undercut that low. And that undercut right now came on lighter volume, number one. So you have that divergence. We had a strong source of supply here, not quite as strong. I think that it's in as good a position as it's been in for a potential long.
Okay.
Tomorrow we get rid of this data for the 5-day moving average calculation, so it should continue down. Maybe it does something like this tomorrow and then gets going on Thursday. Absolute worst case stop would be under here.
Yeah.
If it makes a higher low in this zone, I would put it there, but just for a bounce because we're below declining 20-day moving average, 50-day moving average, 200-day moving average. Money's flowing out of the stock. It's only a bounce trade if you get involved.
Brian, the chat loves you more now than they did before. So there it is, your hot take there on Cathie Wood. Look, great talk there on Tesla as well. But yeah, ARK, maybe the only one to invest in is ARK B, which would be the Bitcoin. Therefore, it just follows Bitcoin.
You know what? I considered that, and that was on my list. I'm bullish on Bitcoin here, but I think, and you were talking about IBIT earlier.
Yes, yeah, that's the one I like.
And if you pull up my screen real quick, I figured why give Cathie the management fees?
Yep.
She's already got enough. These things are all identical, so forget about that one. Go with IBIT.
Yeah, me too.
You can see that 5-day moving average is flattening out, and this green line is the anchored VWAP since inception. We're starting to hold above that for the first time since it came out, meaning buyers are regaining control.
Yep.
And I would say keep a very close eye on this for a break above probably 2480. Worst case stop down under here. Looks like it's gonna probably get going here in the near term.
So I had your friend and a friend of the show as well, Michael Noss, on Monday, and he was talking about Bitcoin maybe in a little bit of a channel moving forward. So we'll see if that does happen. But I agree with you. I choose to trade with IBIT as well. It does a lot of volume. It's an iShare product, so it's all good. It's
Cathie doesn't get paid.
It's maximum trading gains with an anchored VWAP. Go find this man. Everyone's loving you on the chat. It's at Alpha Trend. It's Brian Shannon. Thank you once again for taking the time with us here today. You're one of the best, and I definitely appreciate your time on a weekly basis. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you, Sean. Take care, everybody.
The best in the business. That's Brian Shannon. Thank you, my friend. I really like that bumper with the trader talk there. I like the music, and I like that I can just hit it like that and everything. But again, what a great one right there. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. Oh, Brian, if you're still there, people wanted to know if it was a SMA or EMA when you are using your 5-day. Just write in your hands, S or E. I can see in front of your face. S. Okay, so simple. Thank you, Brian. I see him still here in Zoom. So he uses SMA on that, okay? So thank you so much, and I apologize. Sometimes I don't even have the chat open. I just have it on the other screen. So Brian is awesome. I mean, people love you in the chat, so thank you so much for that, and that is amazing. So thank you so much once again to Brian and all the help. Hey, guys, let's just do this real quick. Whoever's there, let's do a quick little roll call. Look, the sticky note today was hot fire. I don't need to review that. We've had Alibaba's been awesome. I cannot wait for Alibaba earnings. We had the Tesla long on there. We had a bunch of different things. Go find it at Sticky Note Nation. Stand up and be proud. The reason why I developed Sticky Note was because you gotta follow your own rules and your own levels. Hey, hell, we had Uber long at 69 on that thing. We had Palantir long. The Sticky Note, completely fire. What's up, Matt? Yo, Matt, that was a good joke, man. That was a good joke. And it was, hey, you have to go find out tomorrow. Maybe send me another one and we'll do it tomorrow. We've now invested in Bouillon, if you know what I'm saying, right here. Boom says, Brian, what's up to Andrew? What's up to Mike Pena? Oscar Plays is here. Marielle is here. Saul G is here. Hey, if you better call someone, you better call Saul. What's up to Saul right now? Nikki Cutlets is here. I prefer veal cutlets. Some prefer chicken. What's up, Sebastian? What's up to NYNY? How do we still have this much energy? I have no idea. I'm getting ready to go to the Air Canada Centre, a.k.a. Scotiabank Arena, and we're going to be watching my daughter play on the same damn ice as your Toronto Maple Leafs. That should be a hell of a lot of fun, followed by some good events. It's just a practice on the ice with some Maple Leaf coaches. My family ain't here yet, but they're on their way, I guess. Maybe they're locked outside. We don't got security around here. Anyways, all right, I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you so much for rocking. It's a Palantir kind of day, baby, and we're happy that you're here with us. It's Trader TV Live. This is the market recap show. If you don't like it, then who will? Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much. This is also a later podcast, so if you missed this now, Go find it on all of them platforms. I'm Sean Katina. Thank you so much for watching. It's at Trader TV, Sean, everywhere you can find it. Ciao.